for the land there is 7 times brighter than silver. And I said, Lord, what is this place? And he said to me, this is the land of promise. Hast thou never heard what is written? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The souls, therefore, of the just, when they have gone out of the body, are meanwhile dismissed to this place. And I said to the angel, then this land will be manifested before the time? And the angel answered and said to me, when Christ, whom thou preachest, shall come to reign, then, by the sentence of God, the first earth will be dissolved, and this land of promise will then be revealed. And it will be like dew or cloud, and then the Lord Jesus Christ, the King eternal, will be manifested and will come with all his saints to dwell in it. And he will reign over them 1,000 years, and they will eat of the good things which I shall now show unto thee. Okay, I know there's a picture of the space station on the screen right now, and that's not what we're talking about. That was just in the video. Tommy, Skyview's with me, and let's do this.
Makes me wonder how long those 1,000 years are.
Yeah.
When I hear that.
Speaking of 1,000 years, I was also thinking about time today.
Oh yeah.
What I can't stop thinking about the significance of the rotation of the luminaries and their orbits and their tasks. And it's like, oh, and I'm thinking about this. I know this is off topic, Tommy, from what we were just talking about.
Cool.
But their orbits and tasks, if they weren't perfect, then remember God made a covenant with Adam, and or what was it? Yeah, a covenant. And there was a time or a period of judgment or whatever, or it was already. Oh, sorry, I'm bumping this. It was already written from the very beginning. And like when God created the clock that's in the sky, everything under the heavens, where all the luminaries are, everything under that is subject to time, but anything outside of that is not. So, like the idea of low Earth orbit,
and the elements too.
Yes, all the material things or matter or whatever. That's all here on the Earth. Like the lights in the sky, they're of a different flesh. It's like
makes me think about the ISS and how long it's been up there and how it still looks like it's brand new. Like,
yeah. Well, that's because it's space. It's like it's a harsh environment, dude.
There's no element.
Yeah, it's it's a celestial place.
If that had been flying around in the sky where the air is, like that thing would have probably already fell apart.
Yep. Well, and here's the other thing too. It's not like even everybody would agree that the ISS isn't inside of the Earth. Like it's not on the Earth with us. It's
I don't believe so.
Even if you think it's like, see, here's one of the problems is I hear people saying on debates, oh, it's like all these different ideas. It's a hologram, or it's spy planes that they rigged up to look like the ISS, and they've got a fleet of them that do the timing just right. No. Sorry, stop. You know how unrealistic all of that is, and I just have to say this. Guess what's more realistic? That men launch rockets, and they figured out how they could go into an abyss.
You know what I was watching?
Where they're continually falling. And they got a key to that place, you guys. That's in the Bible. It's in the book of Revelation.
Yeah. I was just watching the documentary. It's a free documentary about the moon hoax.
Oh, okay.
And I knew it's on a big channel, so I knew it was going to be like at the end, well, we went, I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
But watching it, I say both sides had good points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the shadows, and then they showed that the shadows can do that on the Earth with one light source, so it can work both ways. Yeah, it was just like Buzz Aldrin is the guy on there, and he's like, saying how this could work and do that, and other people are too. But there's like 3 old men, and they're just like, I guess they used to work for the Apollo missions. I don't think they were like inside NASA people, but they were like outside sources where they did like, I don't know, built parts for it or whatever.
Yeah, they were in it somehow, involved in it somehow.
They were in it somehow, yep. And they were totally against it. And they made a couple good points, and then the other side was like, well, I guess Russia listened in on it. I mean, I can understand how they could do that.
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
They did. They listened in on it because they wanted to see if they were faking it. So like Russia was watching them as they were doing that, and I'm like, just watching the video, I was like, man, both sides sounds to me like they're both deceived.
Well, what about this? Like, and I don't really even know how to place this, like how to understand this in my mind quite, but the idea, like, that we get from these unclean spirits coming out of the mouth of the dragon, and like some of the things that seem to be so specifically foretold in the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel, like when you consider those, the astronauts, to me, I know they are people, right? I mean, they have houses here on the earth and families because they're people,
right?
Like Buzz Aldrin or whatever. But like, I consider today with the space station that to be, but when I think of going all the way back to Buzz and Neil and that, my mind has a harder time picturing them as that. I don't know why. It should be the same, but maybe
there's two ways to look at that. Were these people born unclean spirits, or by them doing what they did, they defiled themselves? If that makes sense, like
that. Well, that does make sense because they kind of would have to do what they did to be that. What I'm saying, to be. So that's the part I don't quite grasp. I don't understand. But let me ask you this. This is about the most I could say to like describe how I understand it, possibly. If I was to ask you, how'd you become a witness of the truth? Were you born that way?
No.
Was it a spirit that did that to you?
It just hit me one day.
Yeah, it just came to you, or however, you came across it. You're like, oh, this is kind of ridiculous, whatever. Right?
It took me a long time to realize that's what it was, too. Like, it just didn't,
I have to say the same thing with me. It took a lot of time till I was like, whoa. Yeah, and then you just start realizing the weight.
And I would say, if I didn't have the Word of God, I wouldn't even know it.
No, I know, and that's another thing I was thinking about. Remember, I was saying all this stuff was going through my mind. That was another thing I was thinking about. There's a lot of people. Okay, let me say it this way. If you're a person who can see that the earth is not a globe, like if you've learned this, or however you want to say it, if you learned it, or you've seen it, you've been shown it, or you just believe it, or it's obvious, the science showed you, you did measurements, however you got there, you're in a different world now. Sorry, you don't live on a globe, right?
Yeah.
And only you know that, because probably your family laughs at you, right?
You see
or not laughs at you, but they disagree with you, right? Probably.
I know it myself. Like Oklahoma the other night, it was like afternoon, it was raining, and I went up over this hill, and it was just, you could see for like, whoa, and a long ways, and it was cloudy and stuff, and I could still see for like at least 10 miles, probably further. I couldn't put a measurement on it. Sometimes I'll mark where I'm at and I'll try to drive. I'll count my miles and I'll drive, and I'll be like, I wonder how far I just went. Because I'm like, there's no way. There's no way it's a globe. There's no way.
No.
No.
And I was
it
just...
makes me think of that, though. It makes me think about what you just said right there. It makes me think, I'm like, man, I don't even see the earth the same anymore. Like,
no.
It's like I'm somewhere else.
I like the way that that Austin from the Melodome, he kind of opened my eyes to see it a different way. He was saying his whole life there was this flat horizon, and there's still this flat horizon. But
Right.
his whole life, it was a globe with a flat horizon. And now it's the same physical world, but something else has changed, right?
Yep.
That's how it is for me, because I mean, we all saw a flat horizon when we go to the ocean.
I find myself all the time when I'm like in North Carolina, I see the mountains or gorges and like Virginia, and I'm like, man, I can't believe God made all of this. Like,
And it's huge.
it just like find myself giving him glory just for that. I'm like, I can't believe that. And I still like, it's hard to believe that something you ain't never seen made all that. Like,
Yep. With his mouth, with his voice, he just said, "Hey."
I know it ain't mere chance. Like, this all just came together out of random selection. No way.
Yep.
No way. I never believed that. I just never did.
Okay, so I want to read something. I'm actually going to put it up on screen so we can all see it.
There you go.
Let's see. Okay, I think you can see it now.
Yep.
This is Ezekiel 36. I kind of feel like just reading this, starting in verse 16. Because I just want, when I'm reading this, look for the idea of a place, a piece of land, or like the promised land, or like that's what we were listening to in that video that I played at the beginning. That was talking about paradise.
That was the Apocalypse of Abraham that you just played.
That was from the Vision of St. Paul. I probably should have said that. Sorry.
St. Paul. That's right. That's
the Vision of St. Paul, and he said, when the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me play that again. Just that little part. That was only probably it was less than a minute. Let's see. Let me get. I just want. There's a theme that. Okay. Yeah. This stream we're doing is called Flat Earth. It is eternal.
I heard it in Enoch last night. I was listening to Enoch before. I didn't really fall asleep. I was fighting pain up and down all night, but I heard that Enoch somewhere I think it was in the 40s or 50s about how the Lord's going to come and how he's going to
45. Yeah, 45. That's the one where it starts out. It's a parable about those who deny that it's about a parable about those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of Spirits. So they deny heaven. Right. They deny heaven. And we have a whole world who believes in low Earth orbit and space and a solar system. Careful, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check this out really quick. The earth. For the land there is 7 times brighter than silver. And I said, Lord, what is this place? And he said to me, this is the land of promise. Hast thou never heard what is written? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The souls, therefore, of the just, when they have gone out of the body, are meanwhile dismissed to this place. And I said to the angel, then this land will be manifested before the time? Okay, did you hear? I had to stop that because I think this is very important. This is from the Vision of St. Paul. It was a book that was found after the Apostle Paul wasn't alive anymore. And it was published. Like, I don't really care about the history or if you think it's only 200 years old. I don't care. Good. It's the information in here. That's one thing that another thing, Thomas, that we said last week. One of us, or we were both saying it. This information that we're listening to in this video right now is not from the earth. It's from heaven.
Yeah.
It's very obviously from heaven.
Ain't that what the prophets of the old called it? They said it was the tablets from heaven or something like that. They called it that.
I don't know. I suppose.
Like Isaiah and them. I thought that's what they used to call them.
Probably. I'm not sure. I just okay, so this is saying, he said, so this is the land of promise or whatever. And then Paul the Apostle asked the angel, he said, so this land will be revealed before the time, or something like that. We got to listen to it. Sorry, I don't want to misquote him. The souls, therefore, of the just, when they have gone out of the body, are meanwhile dismissed to this place. Sounds like Abraham's bosom, huh?
Yeah. It does.
Okay, here he's about to ask the angel this question, and I think it's very important. And I said to the angel, then this land will be manifested before the time? Okay, that theme right there. This land will be manifested before the time.
Before the Lord actually comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something to be revealed. It's a secret that was kept since the foundation of the world, and it's to be revealed in the last time. This is salvation, you guys. And I know people probably, like, if you're not like on the same page with what we're pointing out in these scriptures, you might think that I'm like a heretic or something. But listen, I'm not making this statement. This statement is in the vision of St. Paul, and it's in the book of Ezekiel, and it's in the book of 2nd Esdras, and the book of John, and
2nd Peter.
It's everywhere in the Bible, this promised land. God said he'll put a new spirit in us. We'll read this in a minute. He'll put a new spirit in us, or in you, and will take you from among the heathen and place you in your own land. That we know what that land is. So this is why, I don't know what to title what we're going to talk about. I don't know. I'm horrible at that. Like, flat Earth, it is eternal. I'm trying to make a point that this is not just a science debate.
Yeah.
At all. Like, you can look at it that way, and you can actually learn the truth that way too, because science is going to clearly show you that the Earth is stationary, and it's clearly going to show you that the sky has these specific paths and orbits that cannot be changed, even though someone is trying to change it. It's on your screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to play just a little bit more. So he said, so this land is going to be manifested before the times? He's asking this to the angel. And the angel answered and said to me, when Christ, whom thou preachest, shall come to reign, then, by the sentence of God, the first earth will be dissolved, and this land of promise will then be revealed. So the land of, this is just a statement that Paul just made. He said that the land of promise, that we know to be by many other names too, the land of promise will be revealed when Christ comes to reign.
When he comes with his saints.
And when Christ comes to reign, where does he reign? In his second coming, I'm saying. Not that's already happened. When he comes again. What did he say? He's going to raise you up on the last day.
He's going to be in heaven.
He's going to be in heaven, but there's a new heaven and a new earth. And where does his New Jerusalem, he said, the kingdom of my God, or I mean the city of my God, where does that come from?
Heaven.
And that has to come down out of heaven to where? To this globe we all were raised on? No. It comes down to a new earth, you guys.
Yep.
A new earth. Oh, that just reminded me. Okay, let's look at these verses again. Let me get my pages up here. Okay, I want to open open this. Yes, but before I forget, I want to open up Enoch 45 because we have to read that. That's the one about when they deny heaven. It says, "And into heaven they shall not ascend."
Yeah, right.
But we'll look at that because that's it's almost, some of these things read the same as other authors. Like, it's like they read the same way. Like, when you read it, it's like, oh, didn't we just read this? Yeah, but it was a different guy that, 2,000 years. Yeah, 2,000 years apart from each other that wrote it. But let's see here. Okay. Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, when the people of Israel lived in their land, They defiled it by their own ways and deeds. Their behavior before me was like the uncleanness of a woman's impurity. So I poured out my wrath upon them because of the blood they had shed on the land, and because they had defiled it with their idols. Remember, we're talking about, like, keep the idea of land or whatever in kind of in the front of your mind.
That's the heavenly land. That's the land of promise.
Yeah. And we'll find that out as we read, because
I mean, just hearing that, you would think that's like the earth.
Yeah, but you'll find out more about the land right here. Verse 19, I dispersed them among the nations, and they were scattered throughout the lands. I judged them according to their ways and deeds. And wherever they went among the nations, they profaned my holy name, because it was said of them, these are the people of the Lord, yet they had to leave his land. Think of Adam and Eve in the garden. Didn't they have to leave? Okay.
They transgressed.
They transgressed and they had to leave.
That's what happened to us.
So this is the beautiful thing about, this is what I believe, is that the time we live in right now is the time that throughout all of time since Adam, that there was this time that everyone that believed it has been looking for, this time when someday you hear people say it all the time, when to get back into the garden. You hear people say that all the time.
Yeah.
Even Jesus said it in the book of Adam and Eve. He said, then I will bring you into my garden. So, and in heaven, of course. But where are we here? So they had to leave his land, but I had concern for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the nations to which they had gone. Therefore, tell the house of Israel that this is what the Lord God says. It is not for your sake that I will act, O house of Israel, but for my holy name, which you profaned among the nations to which you went. I will show the holiness of my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, the name you have profaned among them. Then the nations will know that I am the Lord, declares the Lord God, when I show my holiness in you before their eyes.
What version are you reading?
KJV, I believe, or that's BSB. Let me switch over, because
I mean, it reads similar, just different names or different words.
For me, I'm like, I always go KJV when I'm just reading.
That's probably why you were messing the words up.
I know. Well, no, I'm just like, So You're
so used to KJV. I'm the same way.
What verse were we in? I switched.
We were in. Oh man, I just missed it. 21, 22.
Okay,
23.
But I had pity. Okay, I'll start in 21 just so. Okay, so they titled it a little different, the Lord's holy name. That's what we were just reading about.
Yeah.
But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen whither they went. Okay, I remember. Yeah. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, I do this not for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen whither ye went. And I don't think that this is talking about Yahusha or Yahuwah or Jesus or...
No.
Okay, that's not the name. I don't think that we're talking about.
His words.
And
they profaned his words. I think that's taught about they profaned his word, like the word of God. They profaned him, like his message, what he declared.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? Yeah. That's a good point. Like the former things or whatever, right? Like from Isaiah.
Yep.
What the things he declared in 6 days, like all of creation.
Yep.
That's his glory. Okay, and I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. I am just noticing how many times he's reminding us, or the house of Israel, that and you profaned it in the midst of them. You did. You went right along with them. Yeah.
Yep.
And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, saith the Lord God, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you. Yeah, before their eyes. For this is an important verse right here. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries
Mm.
and will bring you into your own land. Think of that last 8 years, guys. I'm just saying.
I gotta get a highlighter and highlight this. Thanks.
Well, just think about this. Think about since 2015.
That's crazy.
Oh, maybe this is a good time for, because remember I was going to ask you to talk about what you said last week. You said, I consider that to be the house of God being built. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I think I could see exactly what you were saying, but I couldn't put it to words like you did.
I kind of remember what I was talking about. We were talking about people declaring the firmament and stuff.
Yes.
People talking about the heavenly things, that there's a creator in heaven, his city, and space is fake. And I'm like, that just sounds like these people are declaring like God's up there.
Yeah.
Like heaven's up there.
Well, we are declaring that. It's not like
they might not know that or understand that, but that's what it sounds like they're doing to me.
Ooh, Achilles 7 just put a good one in there. Let's read this real quick. Jeremiah 31:33. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Amen.
That's a good one. Very good one. Okay.
I think the law is like we were just talking about, though. Not against the Torah or anything. I just think the law is what he declared.
Goes forth from Zion.
Yeah, his declaration of all of it, everything.
Yep. And remember, like, someone I saw on TikTok in a chat yesterday said, what did they say? Something that sounded right, but then when I thought about it, I was like, no, that ain't right. They said something like, it was about, like, following his commandments or something. Or no, it was about, like, they said something about, being saved isn't of us, it's not our work that does it, or something like that, or like our works. And if something about obedience or something like that, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what Jesus said. Jesus said, if you love me, obey my commandments. That's a quote. So, like, whatever you consider to be his commandments, like a lot of things, I'm getting that sound, Thomas.
Are you going on?
Yeah, thank you, bro. But if you consider something like I'm trying to think of an example of something Jesus did or something he said that gives you an idea if you should follow Sabbath or something like that. Just look at what Jesus did, how they lived, how the things he was accustomed to would probably be a good way to go.
I can kind of see both ways, though, because not that Jesus was speaking against the law, but he did say things when he was here that were kind of different than what the people of those days were teaching.
Yes, and you know what? Remember how, or like, how people a lot of times say that the Old Testament God seems to be much more harsh than the New Testament.
I want to speak about that too. I want to speak about that.
Because I'm learning a little bit of a perspective about that. I'll say it very generally and simply.
Tell me what you think, and I'm gonna tell you what I think.
Okay. Adam was created, and then there was the flood, and then there was up until between Adam and Jesus.
Right.
That was like an age, or maybe 2 with the flood. I don't know, but it's like an age that is like the end of an age came when Jesus descended into hell. Like, I'm learning this now. When he descended into hell, he like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, if you're building a house and all the scraps from all the wood and all the siding and stuff, it's laying all over in the yard. And one day you take and you pick it all up and you like sweep everything, and all of a sudden it's like a different thing. Then, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that made any sense, but like,
I like that.
I don't know. I always try to think of like an example of something because
you work too much.
I know. I work at not working, Thomas. I'm only kidding. I'm going to read a little more of this, though. So
Let
he
me tell you
says,
what I think.
oh,
Let me
yeah,
tell
yeah,
you what I
yeah. I'm
think.
sorry. I was just going to cut you off there.
'Cause I was thinking about this yesterday. Okay, because someone said something in a video I was watching about the Pharisees and
Yeah.
the people that were here when right before Jesus came, and
Like
what
the
they were,
religious leaders or whatever.
them and the other, like the disciples too, before they knew they were disciples, like the people of that age,
Yep,
before
yep.
Jesus, right before Jesus came. Now they were expecting Jesus to be the Isaiah Jesus or the Jeremiah Jesus, that he's going to come and set his kingdom up and rule.
Yeah, you're right. That's a
And
good point.
here he is. Here he is, like riding in on an ass, and he's like the poor man of Nazareth, and he's like, they're
And it
like,
was
this
like he
can't
was
be.
defeated almost. It almost seemed like to them
Well, it's
he was
like that.
defeated.
It was like, this can't be that Jesus or that. Let me just say that Messiah, because he's not doing what the prophet said he would be doing. Now, some things happen the way they, like the spikes going through his hands, him being crucified, that happened. So I mean, but this is the problem. This is the thing I'm seeing. This is where I think they got confused, and I think this is a big confusion, and I think it's still happening today. This Messiah that they spoke of, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Psalms, like David talking about his soul being delivered from Sheol, and
Yeah.
Jeremiah talking about the destruction of Jerusalem, and Isaiah talking about the destruction of Jerusalem, and
Jonah
this
being in the whale.
this is the day of the Lord Messiah, not the Messiah, not same person, same entity, Jesus or Yeshua, whatever, the word of God, the one to
Yep.
come. But they were looking for him to come do what he's going to do on the day of the Lord, then
His second coming.
his second coming. Amen.
And here's an example. Since you brought that up, and I never thought, like you're teaching me here. Here's an example right here in Luke 24, when he goes to them on the road to Emmaus, and like, listen to what they say. So I got to get the right version though. It's popping me into some other version. Okay, the road to Emmaus. So I'll
Luke
just read this a
24.
little bit. Yeah. And behold, two of them went that same day to the village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 80 furlongs. You know how far that is, right? I don't. And they talked together of all these things which had happened. Like, so this is, Jesus had just been crucified.
Right.
And so they're obviously bummed out. I mean, like, that'd be a pretty downer of a day. So they're walking on this road, and it says, and it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, so they were talking about it, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. So this is the Jesus that was resurrected, like
Yep. The
alive.
glorified Jesus.
Yes. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said to them, what manner of communications are these which ye have one to another as ye walk and are sad? So he even notices that they're sad. And one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answering, said unto him, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and has not known the things which are come to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, what things? And they said unto him, concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and have crucified him. Here's what you were mentioning right here. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Yea, and certain women also of our company made us astonished, which were early at the sepulchre. And when they found not his body, they came, saying that they had also seen a vision of angels, which said that he was alive. And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre, and found it even so as the women had said. But him they saw not. So they're like, Jesus is missing. But they said, we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And that's not, I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree. That, like, and we know by reading the Gospels that that the disciples never got it, like before it happened. They never understood it. And I would just probably say that we're the same way, okay?
They searched for it, yep.
They search for it just as hard as we do. They want to understand it, what was happening. And, like, that's one of the amazing things is, there's a lot of people who can see this deception that since 2015 we've been, like, obsessed over this.
Right.
If you can see this deception, but you also might say, I don't trust the scriptures, they've been messed with too much, or whatever. Whatever, if you don't put, like, if you don't really read the scriptures very much, that's like, I don't think you need to. But one thing that I do know is that knowing that these things were destined to happen, foretold to happen, these things will happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the way that they happen just ain't going to be understood by all of us. And it's not going to be understood in full by any of us.
No.
Because if we look at history and the way that it happened when Jesus was here the first time, they didn't get it. The disciples didn't get it. And Jesus even said to them, how is it that you don't understand? He worked a miracle feeding out the 5,000 and the 4,000 or whatever. And
right.
He, like, quizzed them. He's like, you remember when we fed the 5,000? How many baskets were left or whatever? Like, he was reminding them that they had, like, no food, and still everybody ate, and then there was more leftovers than they had to start with. So they kind of assisted him in performing a miracle twice. And he was reminding them of that. And their thing was, that was when he said, beware the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod. That they were seriously thinking that he was talking about that they only brought one loaf of bread out on the boat with them. That's what they thought he was thinking about. And he's like, how is it that you don't understand? He, like, reminds them of it, and, like, they witnessed it. They saw all these people being fed. They were fed themselves. Tons of food extra.
They were involved in it. Yep.
They were totally there watching it be performed. And I would like, I just thought of this right now, but I compare that right now to a whole world, every country, people being given sight when they were blind. This is a miracle. It's a different kind of sight. It's a miracle. So I would just say his kingdom is coming, and this truth, or whatever you want to call it, this debate or whatever you want to call it, is a huge part of eternity. Truth is the grace of God. Grace and truth came by Jesus Christ.
Amen.
What are your thoughts?
Couldn't have said it better with the truth part, for sure.
Well, that's the captives are freed by truth.
There you go.
The kingdom that comes down out of heaven is called the city of truth.
I've noticed, like, I've been noticing him a little bit now. Trouble and Tribune.
Yeah, I like talking with him.
I like him too. He's kind of in the air. Well, should I read these things or should I not? I don't know if they're real or.
And you know what? I gotta give props to him, because I know just by some of the things he says that he actually is probably like in this category that I was kind of talking about, where like these people see the truth. Like this, like troubling Skylar, he sees the truth, and look what he's doing. He goes on TikTok, he goes on YouTube, like a ton, and does debates and talks to hundreds and hundreds of people.
I put it in the comments the other day. I said, "You're doing exactly what Jesus said you'd be doing."
Yep, and you know what's cool? DITRH is another example. Mm-hmm. He knows, and Skylar from Troubling Tribune, they know that they're called, and I think that like DITRH says, beyond that is a personal journey, and that's true. Like DITR Dave knows that he's been called by God to do this. Why do you think he quit everything else but this?
You're gonna feel it. You're gonna wake up with it. You're gonna go to sleep with it. You're gonna.
So if you're outside of this desire to show people this truth, if you're outside of that, I can totally see how you would look at Dave and say he's just a grifter. But be careful.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying things like that, or if you're thinking that these people are doing any of this for money or anything like that, or for attention, or to feel special, remember, or to know something that everybody else doesn't know, those are all illegitimate things that you're thinking in your mind. They're not real.
Jesus said,
"Oh, go ahead."
Jesus said, "Take no money." So I always refer to that, and I know you've done some videos about that.
And he even said, when I sent you out, I just read this. I'm not quoting it, but he said, when I sent you out, were you short of anything? And they said no. They said we had everything we needed.
Gave them what they needed. Yeah.
They didn't need to bring anything. Like, that's why he said, don't worry about it. You know. But I'm not against it. People taking donations or anything like that either.
No. Still got to survive.
Here's the thing. If like Dave's app, people always rip on Dave because he's made this app, and it's like complex. And the whole thing about the app, Dave gets so much crap about that. And
$3.
the thing is, like, you see a YouTube star like Jake Paul, and he buys a $12 million mansion in wherever. Okay, you could say that he's on YouTube for money, and he'll tell you, yeah, for sure. So there's a difference there. Dave doesn't talk about money. Dave's talking about, what does Dave go on to? Hundreds and hundreds of, he's done well over 1,000. He's probably at like 1,500 or something interviews on podcasts.
Let me just say how I feel about that whole situation there.
All right.
If you feel like you're longing for truth and you're here to give the truth to other people, like you want to do that, that's on your conscience or on your heart. The only thing I would say is be careful in like trying to sell it, because I don't think it's your truth. I don't think it's your truth to sell. The only thing I'm saying is like with and I've been on Jeranism since day one, since 2015, and I never gave up on him. But he did make a video a couple months ago, and he was like, well, if I don't start receiving donations for YouTube, I'm going to shut my channel down. I'm like, now why would you do that? You know,
well, I think there's once a certain decision is made, like Jaron has 160,000 YouTube subs, so like he gets presented with the situation, whether it comes, you know, however it comes to him, but he's like, I don't need to have, like, I can choose between a regular job and just make a few videos, or if people will support me, I can make a lot more content, do live streams a lot more, and if people like that and they support me, then great. So he's like, he's got a family and stuff. So I understand him saying that, because there's a difference too. If you're claiming, like, we're reading these scriptures saying, yeah, God said he's going to place us in our own land. He's going to put a new spirit in us. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your... Okay, if you're talking about stuff like that, I don't think there's really anybody that's connecting money to that. Nobody's saying, I can't read these scriptures to you if you don't if you don't give me money. Do you know what I'm saying? I've never heard anyone say anything like that. But anytime that people are doing, PayPal or whatever, Patreon to make money or to get donations or whatever, they're not talking about it. They'll say, if you want to send support or whatever, here's the options, and that's about what they say.
Yeah.
So I don't really think that I think the whole idea with Jaron, I don't think he's maybe maybe I could say it this
No,
way.
he's lost.
He feels a different calling, but it's the same. It's the same, but it's to him different maybe a little bit.
He's lost some. He's lost some jobs over him being a flat earther, and I understand that. Like he
Yep.
lost a good job. He was.
Yeah, and like ones like jobs that he was gonna do, since having his channel, and
That's
people
what
are
I'm
like,
talking
no,
about.
you're not with your
Yeah.
online. Yeah. Whoops, sorry, I bumped my mic.
So, I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Here's more land and cities and stuff. Thus, this is verse 33. I'm just saying, it's everywhere. Thus
Yeah,
saith the
it
Lord
is.
God, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities. Just think
Are you
about
still in Luke? You went
no
back to Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 36. Sorry, guys.
Good.
I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the wastes shall be builded. Okay, that's what building the house of God. That's remember in Isaiah, thus saith in 66 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you build unto me, and where's the place of my rest? Where's the house? It's in heaven.
Yeah.
And one interesting thing that seems to be connected with not living on a globe is that you suddenly, and maybe not even suddenly, but you come to a conclusion that, whoa, this is amazing that this was done on purpose and
Listen,
has purpose. It's not,
listen,
you know,
listen to 37:23. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep. And they shall say,
Space, people. That's space.
yep, a desolate place where no man dwelleth. That's why I think astronauts are not people. Anyway, I know that sounds so bizarre, doesn't it?
Not
It's like,
really.
yeah, and then Bigfoot's coming too. Like it to me, it seems like that. But then when I'm learning this stuff, and when these prophets write it, I'm sorry, but I don't care what anybody else says. These guys have
You ain't lying.
proved themselves to me.
You
The
ain't lying.
prophets, the scriptures,
Yeah.
they've proved themselves so many times to me. And I think a lot of us, but
At this point, it ain't a belief. It's like facts.
yeah. Oh, this is the valley of the dry bones.
Dry
Yeah,
bones, yeah.
he says it again in here, right here. Let's see. Let's see. I think it's like down here. I will open. Okay, therefore prophesy unto them. Yeah, right here. I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Lord when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. And
That's
I shall
being born again.
place you, yes, of the Spirit of God.
Yep.
And I shall place you in your own land.
Mm.
We're talking about land a lot, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, speaking
I
of
wonder if
that,
that's the same land in Isaiah 40. I wonder if that's the same land in Isaiah 40 and Luke 3. The
Yeah.
dry land
The
being
flat
made
land.
level. Yeah,
the flat land. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if everybody that's hearing this is aware of that, but in Isaiah 40 verses 3 through 5 and Luke chapter 3 verses 4 through 6, you can read about the earth, like the geographic parts of the earth, the literal shape of the ground, like hills, mountains, valleys, being changed into a flat earth. Like it describes that, and then it says that in Isaiah it says the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the
Listen.
Lord has spoken it.
Listen to 27 right here. My tabernacle also shall be with them. His tabernacle shall be with them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel. when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
His sanctuary, and that's New Jerusalem coming
So
down
this
out of
is
heaven, right?
this is if you notice that, Joe, when he's saying the heathen shall know, that means that the righteous and the heathen are. It's like they're alive and they're together.
Yeah.
That's not
That
like we're dead and we're being judged and then we're in his sanctuary. That's like they're alive on the earth and these people are watching, witnessing these people being changed.
well, and also witnessing them sinking into Sheol.
That's another one. Yeah, Enoch 56.
The globe is sinking into Sheol. It's like,
I mean, what I'm saying is,
it's
if you were to
crazy.
look at that, if you were to look at that on a physical first glance level, you'd be like, well, that's probably after they die and they're going into hell. They're being judged and they're going into hell. No, those are people that are alive together, dwelling on the earth, and these people are watching these people do this, or those people are watching those people do this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you might look at that.
I'm looking.
If I was to look at that at first glance, I'd probably say, well, that's probably a judgment. I probably wouldn't see that as that's, sometime during their life on the earth and they're witnessing other people do that. I don't know. It took me.
I'm
I'm
looking
gonna tell
for
you.
something that I brought up.
It took me. Let's see. It took 2 years to find out what Isaiah 40. It took 2 years to find out what Isaiah 40 was saying after you had been saying it the whole time. And it took like something clicked in me, and I was like, "Whoa, that is flat Earth." Like I have been agreeing, and yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that was weird too.
It took me.
Like I showed that to MC too in that verse. I'm like, this verse says flat Earth. Like this verse describes flat Earth.
I show it all the time. I showed it to a guy in the chat.
Yeah.
I showed it to a guy in the chat the other day, and he was like, "What verse is that?" I said, Isaiah 40, 3-5. And he read it, and he came back. He's like, "No, that's not what that's talking about. That's not flat Earth." He was
That's talking about something else, right?
Yeah, that's not talking about the ground being made level.
Yeah. Even though it says the ground will be made level.
Or you could be like what we were talking about with Sean before we started about him. And I've heard someone say this to me too, the same thing that you said, that Sean says.
Oh, about New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven, like as a structure.
When the kingdom is coming down physically out of heaven, then the ground's going to be made level so it can sit on the ground.
Which I mean, I can get that, but I don't think the ground's going to be there for it to sit on. I don't think there's a new heaven and a new earth.
You must be talking about some heavy destruction there. Wow. What do you mean the ground ain't going to be there no more?
Well, it'd be melted with fervent heat, I heard.
Yeah, you heard.
There's like a loud sound and the heavens depart. And darkness consumes everything, almost as if it's falling into an abyss.
Huh.
Oh, boy.
Sounds like Enoch. It sounds like Enoch 80.
Yeah. Or is it 93? No, you're right, 80, yeah.
80, yeah.
So this one this I wanted to this is talking about the same time, you guys.
Yeah, that made me smile last night. I wasn't even reading it. I was just listening to it. I had my eyes shut and it went through and I was like, wow.
Okay, so here we go with the flat earth again in the book of Enoch. A new heaven and a new earth that John saw. Well, Enoch saw too. Or he saw that he heard it being foretold or whatever. He wrote it down. Let's see here. Let me just read this. I'm just going to read this. Okay, this is Enoch chapter 45. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. And into the heaven they shall not ascend, and on the earth they shall not come. Such shall be the lot of the sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are thus preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day, mine elect one, that's Jesus, shall sit on the throne of glory, and shall try their works, and their places of rest shall be innumerable.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
That right there just shows what you just said earlier. On that day, mine elect one shall sit on the throne of glory. He's going to be on his throne,
Yes.
and he's going to be judging their work, trialing. He shall try their works. I don't know if that's judgment, or if that's
And where was it? You might know where it is, but where was it where he says, "And while they are alive, I will judge their works." That's in Second Esdras, isn't it? I'm gonna have to find that. He says, "And while they're still alive, I'm gonna." I don't know the wording.
might be Enoch. It sounds familiar. I'm sure I've heard it.
But yeah, so he's gonna be sitting on his throne and try their works.
Yeah.
Okay, and their souls shall grow strong within them when they see mine elect ones. So, elect ones, remember in Jude and in the first chapter of Enoch, it said that he comes with 10,000s of his holy ones or his saints
Yep.
to execute judgment.
But he's still on his throne.
Yes, but he's
His
on Mount
spirit's
Zion. He's on Mount Zion that he carved out in the sky and flew up onto it.
I think this is talking about, and when the Spirit of truth has come, he will guide you into all truth. It's like he's in heaven. Jesus is still in heaven, probably preparing Jerusalem. I'm thinking, okay, if God knows when the destruction's going to come, like, so I'm sure he's going to prepare that place.
Oh yeah.
Before
he said he's going to go and prepare a place.
He's probably like at the time they start this, going up there defiling his sanctuary, and he's like, all right, let's start preparing it. Let's start getting it ready. I don't know how long it would take. I mean, he built the whole earth in 6 days. So
yeah, so he's got 2,000 and something years to prepare a place.
Right.
It's probably pretty extravagant. This is John 14. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. I think that's why he says following the Lamb whithersoever he goes. Because I think it is, you're not following if you know where you're going. You're not following, like, just put it into simple terms. Thomas, here we go back out on the freeway again. Thomas is driving in front of me, and I'm behind him. And say Thomas knows the destination, but my destination was just, well, follow him. Just go where he goes. So how do I know where I'm going? I'm not sure how long I'm going to be driving either. I just know that I know that he knows the way. He knows it. And so if I stick right behind him, then I'm pretty sure I'll find the way.
And we're not talking about me. We're talking about the Son of God.
Yeah, but exactly.
I heard it. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so back to the book of Enoch here. So this, again, like the next couple of verses, we're going to be talking about land again, talking about the earth, okay? So it says, when they see mine elect ones and those who have called upon my glorious name. So I think that if you call on the name of the Lord, you'll be saved. There's, what did it say in Zechariah 2 or something, or Isaiah 2? It says there be deliverance in Zion.
Yep.
For those who call on his name. And that's for anybody. That doesn't exclude anybody.
It's hard to keep up with what books, who's saying what in what book, because they're all saying about the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. It's just worded differently.
Just worded differently. That's it. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Verse 4, then I will cause mine elect one to dwell among them. That's pretty cool. And here we go, guys, with the earth and heaven stuff. And I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light.
And light.
Verse 5, and I will transform the earth and make it a blessing, and will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it. But the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. That's kind of a heavy verse.
I hate to say this, and I will transform the, it says, and cause mine elect ones to dwell upon. It sounds like these people came back, man. I hate to keep saying that. It
What do you
just gives me
mean?
this,
Can you elaborate?
cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it. So who's his elect ones? I mean, you could say
It's the house of Israel, right?
that's the whole house of Israel.
The whole house,
That would,
yes.
that would
And
include Ezekiel, Luke, Matthew, John, Mary,
yep, yep.
all the people.
And here's where he told Ezekiel the same thing that Enoch is talking about. Okay, when he says, where was it? And I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it, but the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. That's right here. When he says, for I will take you from among the heathen. Okay, I'm just going to go back and forth here. So the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. So he's taking them out of out from among the heathen. And then it says, and gather you out of all countries, because remember they were dispersed. He scattered them. It says, yeah, and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. This is exactly what this is saying. I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it, but the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon.
And I'll tell you what, I was listening to Trouble and Tribune the other night, and I think it was a TikTok rerun. Like he played the TikTok live stream on his YouTube, and there was this guy on there, and he was fighting against flat Earth, but I could just tell his spirit, man. He was getting mad, like when he said he pointed to the planets and the stars, and he was like, yeah, the planets are round. Come on now, they're all orbiting. We can see that. We know all that. And I'm like, just the way his spirit. I told myself, I was like, wow, you can see he's
into it.
Yeah, he's into his spirit. It's messing with his spirit, like it's fighting against him, warring against him. Like it was crazy. I see a lot.
Okay,
of people
so
like
can I change the where we're headed here just for a second? So I made a video, I don't know when, 2 or 3 years, or I think it might even say in the video when it was. Maybe it's 2020. I don't really remember. It wasn't too long ago, but it wasn't like just recent either. And I called it Crazy Flat Earthers, Not So Crazy. And I want to play that. It's just like 5 or 6 minutes. And I'm not like trying to boost myself, but there's some things that I think are like valid to this.
Let me say something before you.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, the other day you posted a video about the sun being darkened with the smoke from, I guess that's Canadian Fire or whatever it was.
Yeah, yep.
And right that same day before you posted that, I was gonna send you a video of, it was on YouTube, it was a little short clip of that smoke. It was somewhere, I can't remember where, it was a state in America, but. And I was thinking that same verse that you posted. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe you just posted that.
I had to do that.
It made me
It
think
was
of that.
it was Revelation 6:14, I think, maybe.
Yeah, the sun will be darkened, sackcloth. Yeah.
Okay, and Anthony, I see your question there. We'll check it out in after this video. Crazy Flat Earthers, Not So Crazy. Ready? Here we go. A lot of us say that the earth is flat, and it sounds crazy, and it sounds like that couldn't be true. Because we live on a globe. But let me try to explain a little bit from my point of view why I would say that the earth is flat. Why would someone at age 5 years ago, I was 38. Why did I start saying, hey, I think the earth is flat? And why did I buy some nice optics and telescopes and start researching and studying the sky and studying how far we can see on the surface of this earth? Why would I do that? A lot of people would say, Joe says the earth is flat because he wants he wants to be special, or he has a need to be different, or, you know, wants to be looked at differently or something. And I totally get that. But what I would actually say myself is that it's not because I want anything. It's because I was called by Jesus to be a witness of his marvelous light and to give my testimony about what I bear witness to. That's why I say the earth is flat. And there's another reason too. Because of what Paul said in 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 10 through 12.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
The people who don't receive the love of the truth will be damned. So it has nothing to do with Joe wanting to feel special or any of these other people that are saying these same things. We don't want to feel special. We love you and care about you and have learned supernaturally and seen supernaturally the truth in this world. And this world is full of lies. And the lies don't seem like lies because we were all born believing them. Our parents believed them. Their parents believed them. And now people have seen the truth. And it surrounds you in this world. It surrounds you. Water at its surface, when at rest, is flat, level, horizontal. It doesn't take a curved shape. That's only in your imagination. I have proved this in reality to myself, and I have my YouTube channel that I share publicly, my observations. And maybe you haven't gone out to do these observations and see, to prove to yourself that if we were on a spinning ball, two things. It must curve, which it doesn't, and it's spinning, which it isn't. So we were born believing the opposite of our perceptions and the senses that we have, and we were born believing the opposite. And now it's ridiculed to actually observe the world that we live in and on, and to prove things about it. It's 2020, guys. We have the best equipment. We have the best communications. We have worldwide instant communication. We have the best optics that have ever been. It's 2020. We can know if the earth is a ball spinning in outer space or if it's a flat plane that God made. God's in heaven. Remember that. And also remember, this is my testimony. Jesus showed this to me. He opened my eyes, and I could see something when I turned, not when I turned, but around 37 or 38 years old. It changed. My eyes were open. My perceptions were used more clearly. I could see clearer. I comprehend things that I didn't even know existed. He showed me the truth, and I want you to see it because it's crucial for your eternal life. And that is my testimony.
I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. And anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous therefore and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him, and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Amen.
That's a lie. We don't live on a spinning ball. Earth is flat.
There you go. Yeah, I just wanted to play that because,
That's a good testimony.
and it's
Sure.
not like this is not a science debate. Oh, I'm getting
No.
that sound again, Tommy.
Are you?
Yeah, sorry, man.
You're good. Nah, you're good.
At least we have a workaround for it. So there's some interesting questions up here.
Yeah, I was reading the chat on my other phone.
Here's
Anthony's talking about
What's
the
up,
woman and the
Anthony?
dragon.
Good to see you. Yeah, I like the chat. What they were talking about, September 23rd, 2017. That might be something that we could talk about. We should talk about that because we haven't talked about that forever, really. That's all part of this, I think.
Oh
But-
yeah.
Okay, so Anthony says, oh, wait a minute. Let me do this. Sorry, guys. Stop cam. There we go. Who do y'all think it is speaking of in Revelation 6:17? The Father or the Son? Let's check it out. I should have left my camera on.
6:17.
Let's see. Do I have Revelation open? Yeah, I do. One of them. Okay. isn't-
6:17.
Yeah, it's let me read 16 and 17. And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? I think maybe, Anthony, if maybe we meant 6. I'm not sure if you got the right verse there, but if you were talking about like in 16 there, the face of him that sitteth on the throne, I think that would be both, the Father and the Son.
Both. Yeah. Yeah.
If that's your
Which are
question, otherwise put it in again, and maybe it was the wrong verse or not, or I'm not sure. But
I don't look at that. Not saying that I understand all that. I know Sean and them do a lot of videos on that. And you sent me one the other day, Joe, and I had to turn it off because
well, I don't think it's inappropriate for me to ask why are people talking. Let's weigh this out. Like, I'm not trying to rip on anybody because I'm not supposed to be telling other people what they want to talk about. It's none of my business. But it seems like when I go to some of these, I don't know if you call them debates or discussions or conversations or whatever,
discussion
about the Trinity or about is Jesus God, or like there's a lot of these ones and they're so empty to me because of this war happening in the sky. It just doesn't seem to weigh out to be something important as far, and I'm not trying to rip on anybody. I'm just saying when people are talking about the Trinity being real or not or whatever, I don't even think it's an actual debate. I don't think. Okay, so is there a Father and a Son and a Holy Spirit or a Spirit of Truth or Holy Ghost? Yes, there are. In the Bible, there are. Okay, the idea of them all being one, is that in the Bible? Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually, not only them, but it's if Jesus, when what Jesus said is that he wants us in there too, to be one with them.
To be one, yeah.
He's bringing his kingdom down, his sanctuary, his temple, his tabernacle. He's bringing it down to dwell with those people. Okay, so it's obvious what God wants, right?
Yep.
What are you thinking on that?
He wants to be back with his children.
Yep. And
I
he actually like covenanted that or whatever. I don't know the right word, but he planned that.
Since their fall. Yep.
Yep. And he told Adam all about it. And he told all these prophets all throughout time all about it. It's pretty cool, actually.
Remember, he keeps saying that you're with me in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not like we ever left. We just fell away.
Yep. He turned his face from us. I think it says in Isaiah, maybe.
We got misled. We got deceived.
Yep. So Revelation, who do you think it's referring to in Revelation 12:17? The woman being Israel, who are the remnant of her offspring. Let me read the verse just so everyone's got it fresh in their mind. So, I like this. This is the war in heaven. And
we were
so
talking about this. Me
Yeah.
and you, remember? We didn't quite understand the flood.
Yeah, that is something I still wonder what that's talking about. So maybe that comes up right here. But so this is when he hears a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down." I started way early, but that's okay. Sorry, I started way earlier than I planned on there. So
Read it.
I'll keep reading though. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And this is interesting, Anthony, that you bring up this verse. The King James got this verse wrong. We'll go over it right now. Okay, this is the verse Anthony's talking about, the next verse here. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Okay, so it just ends there. So the who are the remnant of her offspring? I think that those are the people who believe
Israel.
Well, they believe in Jesus, and they obviously they follow his commandments, right? The house of Israel.
Yep.
And not only them, I don't think it's only them. I think it's anyone who calls on his name. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I think
they all
that
become Israel.
Yeah, I get the idea that there was these tribes that got sent out into the world with a message. This is kind of what Jesus was praying in John 17. He was saying, I'm praying not only for them, but also them which believe on me because of their word. Because Jesus, they received his word, and he sent them out into, you get what I'm saying?
His sheep, yep.
So they preached a message, and the people who heard their preaching are the same. They're part of the same house of Israel. They're the same. They believe, like it's they're all the same family. By the way, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Thomas. And happy Father's Day to the Most High.
To the
Father
Most High.
of
There you go.
all of us. Father
Right.
of everyone.
Call no man your father.
Yep. God's our Father.
That's right. Amen.
Okay, so this is interesting, Anthony. I think you'll like this. This is just something I learned somehow. So we're going to look at the Greek. We got to do this, right, Thomas? You know what I'm talking about here?
Yep.
They left something out of chapter 12, Anthony. They left it out of chapter 12 and they put it in chapter 13, and it really confuses.
It probably happened in error, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I don't think they tried. The Bible's a big book, dude.
I couldn't
Write it down once. It might take a minute. So
Yeah,
let's look at the Greek. Oh, yeah.
I've thought about that. If someone would just take the scriptures and give the accurate meaning to every word, that would take a while. You'd probably spend your whole life doing that. Like
Sean Griffin has done it.
Well, you know how like you're doing right now, you're taking and you're going back to the translation, but I'm talking like every word. That'd be crazy. I've thought about that.
You know what? When I look stuff up on my computer, it ends up screwing up the StreamYard or whatever. So I missed some of that. I'm sorry. I'm sure other people heard it, but I was chopping in and out a little bit. What were you saying though? I'm sorry.
I just thought about that before, like if you took the Bible from beginning to end and just translated every single word.
Oh yeah, and that's why
maybe you made like 2 versions, the Hebrew and the Greek.
I didn't know if you heard me, but after you said that, I said, "Oh, Sean Griffin's probably done that."
He is smart, I'll tell you that.
He's got a book inside of. He's got many books inside of his head.
He does, yeah.
Look at this, guys. Okay, so, there's more to this verse. Okay, so the children of her keeping the commandments of God and holding the testimony of Jesus. And he stood upon the sand of the sea. Who did?
John.
The dragon did.
Oh, the dragon.
The dragon, though. It says the dragon is angry with the woman, went to make war with her children that kept the commandments and had the testimony of Jesus Christ. Which I think is so cool that both of those things are said right there.
Let me ask Anthony a question.
Yeah, Anthony, or ask.
If he's still there. Yeah, if maybe listen to the, is that the Testament of Solomon? No, the wisdom of Solomon. I mean, maybe you don't believe the book, but it ain't going to hurt to just read it or listen to it. That might help you with who that woman is.
Oh, wisdom?
The wisdom of Solomon, not the Testament of Solomon, the wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah.
Remember
no, but that woman is wisdom. Is that what you're, like, I think, maybe, is that what you're saying?
She's the mother of all wisdom, and she's the mother of, it says that she's the tongue of, it's Jerusalem.
I have to read that Wisdom of Solomon again, because that was...
It's heavenly Jerusalem. It's the mother of Israel. Yep.
That makes
According
sense.
to that book. It does, because it
like
matches.
If you could almost... Like Daughters of Babylon and Babylon, like that kind of a little bit.
Yep. Same place, like though. It's just...
Yeah.
The Babylon...
It is the same place.
It's just been changed.
Yep.
It's been overtaken. Whatever.
Okay, so it's going to get choppy when I do this. I just want to show Anthony something. Okay, so it said the dragon, and he stood upon the sand of the sea. So look what happens right away in Revelation 13. And I saw out of the sea a beast rising. Because you know what that sea becomes half. It's the waters. So that's why I noticed this, I think, because it made no sense to me that the beast, that John was standing on the sand of the sea. That's not
right.
That's not what it says. So it was the dragon that was standing on the sand of the sea, and it was John who said, I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. So interesting. And we know that beast is the beast that came up out of the bottomless. Yeah. But the beast that came up out of the bottomless pit, that's this Revelation 13 beast. So the sea is the bottomless pit. And it's weird to think of it being above the earth, but it's not, because it's a bottomless place above the earth. It's an abyss.
Isaiah 14:9.
Yeah. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming.
I
It
remember.
stirreth up
I
the
remember.
dead for thee.
I
Go
remember
ahead.
when I first heard that. I remember when I first heard that. I remember right where I was at and everything. I was coming back from Walmart distribution in Arcadia, Florida, and
Dropping off
I
a
just
load?
turned your. Yeah, I just dropped off a load, did a drop and hook, and I was going back to get another one from Zephyr Hills Water, and you said
Zephyr
that,
Hills?
and
My grandparents used to live there.
I was like, wow, I can't believe that says that right there. That hell is moved. That changes.
Yeah.
If you can understand that verse, a lot of people say that doesn't. That's not what that means. But I take the words for what they say. I hate to be like that. I just
One of the most common things that you hear when you study these things, you hear from other people, that's not what that's talking about. Like, okay,
yeah.
good. It's not for you then.
That's it.
But the words
No-
have
no
something
sense in
else to
fighting.
say though.
Yeah,
The words say it
I
is
used to-
talking about that.
I used to argue with them and try to like fight to show them it, and then now I'm just like what you just said right there. I'm like, okay, I guess just. I told one
Yeah.
person a couple weeks ago. I was like, it just is not meant to be revealed to you. I guess. I
Or
said,
and like even saying that, like when you say that, it sounds like arrogant or,
I know.
or whatever that
Sounds
idea.
harsh. Yeah.
But I know that like if you said that to someone, you're saying there's something that you. I think I said this to Sean Griffin. I said there. It seems like you're trying not to see. You're trying to not
Yep.
see this. And he's like, I'm trying to
remember that.
understand what you're saying. And I'm like, it doesn't seem
No, he
like that.
I love Sean
Um,
Joe just as much as I love you.
I know,
and
me
no, he
too.
wasn't. He was fighting against it, but it's all good.
Yeah, and it seemed, I think he
I watched
understood
that.
what I was saying. And you know what though?
Oh yeah.
That's fine too.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. I think
watched
that's
that.
awesome.
I've watched that video like 10 times, Joe. I have.
You guys want to I'll grab a link for an interesting video.
Yeah, it's a good video for sure.
Let's see.
And you know what? The other day I was watching one of his, and it was I think I sent it to you. It was some other
I don't know
guy
what I
that
called it.
It was some other guy that he was talking to about the principalities and stuff like that. And he said something about the firmament, and he just made it brunt and easy, like the firmament, the sky, heaven above. And I was like, why didn't you do that when you were talking to effed up world? Because he was fighting you to see. He's like, which firmament, which layer?
I know. I'm
what-
like, if you were to point at God, which way would you point? At the Most High. I was like,
Joe's like, up, above.
well, one of the things that I didn't really grasp quite at that time was there's a place between heaven and earth.
That's it.
And Sean would agree with me. And I think Sean said I liked how he said it. He said the extremity. Is that what he said? The extremity? Or, off to the side, somewhere not connected. You know what I mean?
the sides of the earth.
Yeah, and well, here's one thing like my mind automatically does to me. If I said between heaven and earth,
Right.
and we know that God called the firmament heaven, right?
Yeah.
And so if I was to say between the firmament and the earth, because it could kind of be said that way.
To me, that would be the sky there.
It would be the sky, but
Yeah.
here's the other thing. Another thing that Austin from Melodome made me think differently. The firmament's flat. It looks like a dome, like from one place, because you look, like
I
just
think
like
the
the
bottom-
sun
I think the bottom of it's flat, but the top of it, before you
is
would go,
different. Yeah.
before you would go through the firmament into wherever,
Yep.
I'm taking that would be where God's at. But I think the top of the firmament is curved. I really do.
I think because because heaven has a circle. Heaven is shaped in a circle.
Yep.
Where in the book of Enoch, when he's talking about the courses of the sun, he said I can't remember the wording, but he said the circuit of heaven, not the circuit of heaven, but the circumference of heaven. Yeah. He said the circumference of heaven. So heaven has a circumference.
Yeah.
And Earth. I would guess that Earth has a circumference, but
Yeah,
I don't
I was
think
thinking
that
about
there's
that, yeah.
ends that like where the ends of the Earth are. You wouldn't see a person there because it's like the end of the Earth.
It says there's no where no man dwelleth.
Yeah, there's a wilderness, a
Yeah.
desert.
I was thinking about that yesterday, Joe, when I was listening to Trouble and Tribune's TikTok review thing. He replayed it on YouTube, and I was like, because you can see if the Earth was flat, you could see China, you could see, and I'm like, no, there's trees and there's atmosphere, whatever, and I'm thinking, the bottom of the clouds, if we had a normal
They're
cloudy day,
flat.
if you were to draw a line up there, not down here, you can't do it down here because the Earth's not completely flat.
Yeah,
There's obstruction.
Well,
but-
and if like think of how you watch, like let's say there's a jet flying a big, huge, fat contrail or chemtrail behind it, whatever,
I hear it. Yep.
and you see it coming towards you like close to the horizon, right? And it goes
Looks like
over
it's going
you.
down.
Yeah, it goes over you. It's going straight up. It looks all goofy. We've all seen the jet flying in the sky, and we're like, which direction is that thing going? But almost all the time, it's just flying parallel with the surface of the Earth.
When it's coming at you, it looks like it's going up.
And when it's over your head and it's going down the other way, then it's going down.
And it's going down. Yep, you're right.
That's how we see. That's how we experience the world.
I remember when I was big in the chemtrails, I was like fighting it on Facebook and everywhere. Anybody tell everybody that's spraying the sky. I'm over that now, but that I remember that I would see the plane coming at me. I'm like, that thing's flying. It looks like an Air Force jet. It's going straight up. I'm like, and then it would go over me, and I'd be like, no, it's flying. It's just flying straight across. That's weird.
Well, and that's what the sun does. That's what every star does. That's what every luminary does. I'm just saying that's how the sky works.
That's what the Falcon 9 does.
Yep. Yeah, and then flat earthers say it's going down. It's not going down.
I just watched.
There's the sun. We could say it's setting, like the sun sets, but is the sun that we all know that the sun is above the surface of the earth at all times because it's light somewhere all the time. Yeah. So, yeah.
I just watched Dearth. That one he was talking about I ain't gonna say that word. Effing heavy. The one he did a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And yeah, there's some interesting things there when they turn the camera view. I'm like, where is the smoke? And yeah, that's the sun's
it's
not
weird
there on
stuff,
one.
man.
It's weird.
You know why?
You know why?
You know why it's
smoke,
weird?
Joe, the smoke is what got me. And he's like, well, that when it first launches, he's like, why isn't all that smoke still smoking as it's going? I said, no, that smoke, when a rocket launches, they pour water onto the pad.
It's steam.
It's steam. That's not from the engines.
That's just from the water. That's from the deluge system that they have.
Yeah, the deluge system. They're trying to keep the pad from melting because the engine's so hot, the fire.
Because it's the most powerful thing that anybody has ever dreamed of making is a rocket engine. It just is.
Yeah.
And now here's the thing. There's almost like two ways to go there. You could look into it and like, I'm not recommending anybody do this or not. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. You could look into it, and the more you looked into it, the more you would probably be brought to a place where you understand that all the metal and the fuel and the velocities, all that's real. It's just the part where they say Miko and then everything's floating. That part is where the reality ends. That's it. Like in the firmament, men don't go in the firmament.
Not supposed to.
But the metal garbage that they have been shown how to make sure does. Like, and a lot of people might disagree with that, and that's fine. I'm not saying I know something you don't know.
I'll be real with you. If I didn't have the profits, Joe, watching that video, right? The moon one I just
You'd
watched,
laugh.
and
Yeah.
no, I would be on the side with Dearth. I'd be like, yeah, that's something's wrong there. That don't make no
Yeah,
sense.
it's not right. That's because
There is a deception
a-
there.
it's satanic. It's a
Yeah,
miracle
there is a
being
deception.
like literally, like for example, landing those boosters. They do it with fire. They make this beast that speaks like a dragon. This is in Revelation. A beast that speaks like a dragon goes up out of the earth. John sees this, and then it makes fire come down from heaven.
Right.
And then it says, and that was how he deceived the world. It was a deception. So
What's the purpose?
Dirt is right.
Well, let's think about this though. Okay, Durf's showing that to open the eyes of people to see that what are they faking that footage there? Is that what he's trying to show?
I'm not sure. I think that if you were to like, get deeper in it, I think that's what he would say is that they're putting on a show. But I also know that he'll be the
people
first
on the land. There's people on the land watching it.
Yeah, but whatever's happening, like they could put on a show where they make something look like that or sound like that. Who knows? But I think the place where he's at is exactly what you're saying. There's so much wrong with it. It doesn't compute. And so
it was messing with me when I was watching it. He kept flipping it back.
He makes good points. That's why. He makes good points. He's like, why is this not happening, or why is this happening? Why is the guy going across the scene in the ISS and he's got some harness holding him up? Like, why is that happening?
Let me say something about those harnesses.
Yeah.
What does it matter that they're wearing harnesses?
Well, here's the thing.
When you strap into a NASCAR car, do you put harnesses on?
Yeah.
Why? What's that going to make any? I don't understand the harness thing. Is it's like they're in something going that fast?
No. They're insinuating that the harnesses are
what's making them flip and stuff.
No. Yeah, but I think that DITRH. We're just using him for an example, kind of. I think he would tell you that it's like in a set or something, and they're doing this trickery with CGI and stuff like that.
Okay, they're on the Earth. I got you.
Yeah, and so it's like a slightly different way than I look at it, but it's the same actually, because what DITRH is pointing out, he'll be the first one to tell you that this is not anything but a spiritual. But he says that all the time, that this is more of a spiritual battle. It's one that. Yeah. So I don't think he's thinking that there's like his neighbor that works at NASA lying to him. It's like, that's the idea. But when you really start thinking about if it's a spiritual war, these lies are being believed, not told by people.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? There's a big difference, I think. Like, if the devil lied, all the people aren't going to be involved in it. They're going to be, well, if they're like on his side, they're definitely going to be involved in it. Like, they're going to be making rocket engines, and they're going to be making everything that he needs to do his little battle. But they're going to be doing that, but it's because they believe in it, not because they know that the devil's a liar and they're on his side.
There you go.
So,
yep.
So I think,
I agree with that.
I think space is fake, that whole idea, versus space is a bottomless abyss of darkness. It's the same thing, because it says in Revelation 13, he uses that miracle to deceive the world.
Mm-hmm.
So is Dave deceived by it? No. Are you? No. Am I? No.
Just some people know what it is, like on a heavenly level, and then some of them don't know what it is, but they've come out of it. It's hard to explain. Like, they've come out of it, but they don't know exactly what all they've come out of. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think anybody does, really. I think it's so obvious to me that the solar system is this city that's been
Yep.
It's like this city that will be destroyed, and it's described 100 times in the Bible. The stars will fall.
It's took over Jerusalem.
It'll be like Revelation 18, fallen, or Babylon is fallen, and is become the
Satan.
habitation of devils.
Satan took the heavenly kingdom and turned it into a dark abyss. Made it.
Yeah.
He made the light. He okay. I'll tell you what he did. He did exactly what Isaiah and Jeremiah said. The heavens have become darkened.
Yeah.
There's no more light. There's no more light in them. Like,
Yep.
the
sun
heaven,
won't give its light, and the moon won't give its light.
Well, not so much that. No. Like in Isaiah and Jeremiah, it says that the heavens have become darkened. Like they're no more heaven. They're no more Jerusalem. It's space. It's darkness.
Oh yeah, I see
It
what you're
just goes
saying.
on, and it's There's no more. They turned Jerusalem into Babylon. It took over the. It took over the city. It took it over. Like it. It's crazy. It's spiritual.
I see Achilles 7 is using the wrench. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. I trust you, but just be careful. He said, I banned them both. Today's not one of my finest mood days. Well, I have that list, so I can always there's not that many people that are, is it called banned or whatever? There's a list on my, like the backside of the channel or whatever. And every time I go in there to look to see if anyone's in there, it's like, there's not that many people in there. And the people that are in there, I'm like, oh, I remember him. He's not getting back on. But sometimes there's people like, hey, I'm blocked on your channel. And I'll be like, oh, I'll unblock them or whatever. So whatever. It's never like the end of the world if someone gets timed out or whatever like that. It can can seem like really offensive, but it's not always meant to be. Sometimes it's a butt dial. Go for it.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth. Okay, so we got Satan, the dragon, being cast down, cast onto the earth. To me, the one I'm just gonna say Jerusalem. To me, I can't prove that, but is the heavenly, which is the holy city, which is the heaven where God dwells. We all know that. So he prosecutes the woman. He goes to make war with her, and her child is Israel. Those are the people that are in the whole, essentially. And war with her children. So the dragon is the horn, right? Daniel.
I think he's the horn with a note, or the little he goat with a notable horn between his eyes. I'm losing you. What's going on?
So she flies away. This is what I got right here. Can you hear me?
That was really choppy. I can hear you talking about the woman, but it's really choppy. I think maybe everybody else is hearing you, and it's just me that's not, because that's on the recording.
And Earth.
Oh, I lost Tommy. Maybe it was his phone. I'm not sure. But was that choppy for you guys, that last little segment of Tommy? I'm just curious if that was just me or if that's you guys. I'm sure he'll pop back in. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Says, no, it's cutting out. Okay. So maybe Thomas has just got a little bit of a bad signal. Thank you, Achilles 7 and April. Thank you. So let me do this. I think you guys will like this. We've been talking about DITRH. Oh, Tommy's back. Okay, this is going to be a little weird for a second. Hold on. Oops. Tommy, did I just remove you? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Okay, check out this video. I think you guys will all like this. I'm working on it. Okay, here we go.
Tell me your name.
Ruth Heath,
Ruth, and how old are you today?
102,
102. So you were born in
1918.
1918. And we were just talking, and I asked you what shape the earth is. And what did you say? What were you taught in school in elementary
I was
school?
taught in school that the earth was flat.
And then what do you remember when they changed it to a globe?
Well, when they changed it, I remember when they changed it, but I can't remember the date or anything like that.
And did you believe them?
Yes, I did.
You did. Now,
I was young.
right, and we all were told by people that we trust.
That's right.
Where did you go to school? Elementary school.
I went to Spur Glen School in Hamden, Connecticut. I lived on a farm and grew up with all kinds of animals. No electricity. A big white farmhouse.
Amazing.
And we had to walk to school. We didn't have a bus to take us to school. We had to walk to school and walk home through all bad weather. It was, living on the farm was a life of, I can't explain it.
So getting back to the flat Earth, you said that you're religious, that
Yes.
you follow the Bible.
Yes, I do.
And are you aware that the Bible is all about the flat Earth? That God put the earth on the footstool and separated the waters from the waters, and created the firmament. If you read Genesis, I'm not the Bible guy. I have friends that are so good at it, but there's over 200 verses in the Bible that refer to a flat Earth.
That's right.
And I think there's only one verse that mentions Earth as a circle. But just like this table right here, that table is a circle,
Right.
but it's flat.
That's right.
Right. A circle is different than a sphere. A sphere is the same in every direction.
That's right.
The circle of the Earth. So how does it make you feel to realize that you were right as a kid?
It makes me feel better.
It does make you feel better, right?
Oh, it makes me feel alive.
Oh my God, that is so true. My whole life, I believe,
Yes.
what I was taught.
That's
and then
right.
when I discovered the flat Earth,
I feel better about it.
because we are the center of creation.
That's right.
We are important.
That's right.
We are here.
We are God's children.
Excellent.
Yes.
I will,
I believe in God. I trust God. And when all the problems that are happening in this world today,
I'll give you some good news. A lot of the problems that they report on the news aren't even real.
that's right. That's right.
They're just keeping us in fear.
Keeping up. That's right. That's right. That's right. I understand that. I understand. They just say what they want people to know. They don't care about the Bible. They don't care about life. They only care about I, me, myself, and I. It's a different world.
So the globe deception that a lot of people say, and I believe, is literally by Satan to hide God and
That's
make
right.
people selfish
That's right.
and self-centered and not care and think that there's no consequences for their actions.
Right. I pray every night before I go to bed. And one night things weren't happening right. And I sat up in bed and I said, God, where are you? I need you right now. And I'm beginning to wonder, where is God?
God's right above us in the clouds. The heavens are right here. That's all that there is. And there's not infinite space. Did you know, wait, let me ask you a question, just switching topics a little bit, that we never went to the moon, that was all fake?
Is that right?
That's correct.
I saw that all happening.
Yeah, so did I, and we all believed it, but that was just to reinforce that people to believe they can live on a ball and they could walk on a ball. Nobody's ever been to space because space doesn't exist. There is no space. There's just this world.
Oh, it's such a lie.
It's such a lie, but knowing the lie is like going to a magic show.
I woke up.
Yes, that's what we call it. We call it red. This is your moment of waking up.
Oh.
It's when you go to see a magician and you know how the tricks are done, and the magic no longer works on you, and you're free from the illusion. So knowing this is going to free your heart.
Cry.
Yeah, it's okay.
It makes me cry.
Happiness.
Yes.
Tears of joy.
Yes. I know that we were true, and they're hiding us.
Yes, it's good though.
It's good.
It's very good.
Yes.
All right.
I'm awake.
Yes.
I'm awake.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to end this video now, and I will try to give you some more information. Can you read? Are you able to read?
No.
You're not able to read.
No.
Are you're able to listen to things?
Well, I have to use up here
Okay.
because I'm legally blind.
I got it. All right. So you can't see how good looking I am?
No.
You just have to trust my opinion. This is the perfect woman for me. She can't see me. All right. Thank you so much.
That's my pleasure.
All right.
It's my pleasure to know that it's true.
It is absolutely true.
Oh, it's amazing.
Here's the thing: if you tell other people that aren't awake, they'll think you're crazy.
That's right. That's right.
That's their problem.
No, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So good, right? I'm glad we met.
I'm so happy.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. It's right.
All right, I'm gonna, this is what I did. I was visiting my mother, and I asked who the oldest, most lucid person was, and they introduced me to Ruth. Ruth, right?
Yes.
And
right.
I encourage anyone else that has access to an old age home to do the same, because there's not many people like Ruth left that remember these things. We also talked about the World's Fair that she attended, and she said that the lights were the most amazing part.
Amazing thing.
Yeah.
I never got over that. I never, all my life, it's right there. The lights were so bright. And living in the darkness for so many years as a child, all of a sudden the world opened up.
Amazing. All right, Ruth, thank you.
Thank you. I'm amazed. I'm so happy to know it's true.
It's true, and God created this world.
Yes,
and He's right here in the clouds above, close, not in an infinite universe. So good, right?
And I can't get over it. Made me cry.
Made me cry too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Ruth, give me a hug. Here we go.
I need it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Haven't played that one for a while. I don't know if Tommy's with us right now. Oh, you are? Okay, you lost your thingy. So let me read something to you guys. Okay, let me read some of the comments. Because I want you guys, Achilles 7 and Shifty Eye Shady or whoever's here, there's something that you guys are talking about and no problems. But I want you to figure this out on your own. I'm just going to read to you something that the Son of God said. Okay? But first I want to make sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So, where was it? I'm sorry, guys. Because I think this is important. I'm not telling you how to think or how to look at anything, but a way that I look at it is I'm looking at it the way that Jesus said it. And like I can't look at it a different way than that. The world is just like the way I picture these things to be coming to pass, or you know, the principles that Jesus taught, or like all the my view of it from my point of view is different than yours. It's different than Thomas's. But my point of view has changed a lot on its own. Like the more I read about this stuff, and just the more that I hear the words he spoke. So, okay, here we go. I'm not good at multitasking. So, let's see. Thank you guys for all the comments too. I like it. Let's see. They were talking about Jaron and some of those guys. Where did it start? Oh, that was cool that's interesting about Artemisia or whatever. You guys can read through the comments, but let's see here. This is maybe the first place I've seen it, but I thought I saw it a little bit earlier than this, but let me go back to this screen. There we go. And, okay. Sorry, guys. One of those guys that David, Jaron, and Austin was on had an aha moment. He realized it, but immediately shut the concept out. Did y'all see that the other day? I think every time those guys get together and talk with someone, that happens. It has to happen. But it's such a powerful indoctrination, isn't it? But that it was about those guys. So maybe let's see here. Maybe that's what Achilles 7 was saying. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Anthony, there's something with those guys. They somehow remain negative to the Bible being true. They will accept a creator, but not his son. Okay, so that's the concept that I'm going to be, like, you guys can put two and two together. This is something that I'm not going to try to teach you, but it's something that he taught me. And it's very specific, it seems. So just with, we're talking about maybe people that aren't, they're not comfortable with this story. And there's a couple more comments. And I just think this is something that it's like a gift from God, the words that I'm going to read to you that he spoke. Like 2,000 years ago when he was on the earth, just about to be hung on a cross, crucified. And he was like, in the judgment hall. So it was like an intense time, I'm sure, for him. That's funny, because Satan doesn't mind us believing in God as long as we don't know that we are saved of the works of the Lamb and not ours. I'm just going to read a few of these comments. Thank you guys for putting them in there. I think they don't believe that the Bible was written by divine inspiration. Yeah, Ruth is awesome. Okay, this is the comment that I wanted to get to. And we are all critical of man-made books and science, which that's only smart, right? I mean, you don't want to read something that somebody put together out of their own mind and put out as like from God or a fact or whatever. We're careful. Sure. We're very careful. We have to be. Or try to be, I guess. But they're not examining it. Okay, so this concept, let me bring you guys to my page and share something with you that might give you a different outlook that you've never had before. Tommy, you know what outlook I'm talking about? When I go to John 18.
Yeah, I already know where you're going.
You know what? This is like the last. Is this like the last thing that he said before he was crucified in John? Anyway, in John, the Gospel of John, I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
So, This is the intense time Judas gave him up, and like maybe he already even had a crown of thorns. No, maybe not yet. But okay, verse 33 we'll just start. But you guys, this is just something that when I read it, every time I read it, I'm like, yes, that is awesome what it teaches me. Okay. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Jesus and said unto him, Art thou king of the king of the Jews? Jesus answered him, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me? Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I'm a king. Okay, guys, this part right here. Like, these words are some of the probably the most powerful words written down in any book. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Listen what he says right here, you guys. Everyone that is of the truth hears my voice. So it depends on what you consider truth, and I'm not trying to tell anybody how to think, but when I read that, let me read what he said that he came into the world to do. Okay, I mean, this is one of the things anyway. He said, to this end was, so this is when, okay, just think about this. King of Kings, right? But a king, have you ever seen a king that didn't call him, like didn't show up as a king? Like didn't show up or didn't address himself as king? Even when he was asked, and he's like, you're saying that. But he said, to this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Everyone that is of the truth hears his voice. Maybe they don't even know it, right? Maybe they are even in a place where they're very skeptical. And even to the point where they can think of some things and look at them as even ridiculous about this story.
Right.
But if you listen to those last words, then that it's like, to me, it became a different thing. And actually, I can't describe how, but I think if you're putting two and two together. So on the topic of, can you sum it up a little bit? Like on the topic of people that clearly see this specific thing, they see a deception and they've been given eyes to see it.
It's not necessarily about the Bible. It's about the truth.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what he said. He said, everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Let's look at the Greek words there just for fun. That's like some of the most powerful, to me anyway. But like, sometimes it's not real powerful to some people, but it's like hits someone really hard. This is one of the things that hits me really hard. I don't know if it hit you really hard, but it always has since I...
Oh, for sure.
Let's just see what he says in this. For this I have been born, and for this I have come into the world, that I may bear witness to the truth. Everyone being of the truth hears of me the voice.
Here's my voice. Yeah.
So, I look at everything differently just because of that.
For sure.
Like what is truth? You know what I mean?
What God declared.
Hey, here's a weird... Oh, go ahead.
I'd say what is truth, what he declared. would be truth. Anything that he declared, his
Yep.
words, his word.
Yep, he is the truth.
That's right.
That's what he said. He's the truth. He's the bread of life. He's so many things.
Although they
His
don't,
blood washes sins away.
although these people don't subscribe to the Bible or religion, and I think that's what a lot of it's got to do with. It's the whole Christianity, fake church.
There's a lot of dirty,
Yeah,
like murky water out there, right?
yeah.
A lot of it.
They're
I mean,
They're still abiding in the truth. They still want truth, search for truth, try to share truth.
yep.
So they're doing.
And
what
even
Jesus
like
said
we
they
were
would
talking
do.
about, even like we were talking about money, and like Jaron was saying, if he, if basically if it doesn't come in enough, then he can't do it. Which is like, dude, if you look at it from the point of view that he might have, I totally get that, and I wouldn't look negatively on that. But if it was like if you said that to me or something, I can't go on Facebook anymore until I get donations. If you said that to me, I would be like, that ain't right.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? It like, so maybe that has something to do with if you know something, or if you know something that's happening that other people don't believe is happening. I kind of don't know where I'm trying to go with that. Like, yeah, I don't even know how to say it. It's weird. But I think you guys got what I was taught by when Jesus said, "Everyone that's of the truth hears his voice."
truth is the reasoning behind all this happening. If I could say it like that.
Yes, because
We find ourselves in a time of great deception and lies.
and
whether they
like
whether they know it's coming from heaven or God's doing it, that doesn't matter. It doesn't.
believe the truth.
That's it.
Like, do a quick. Here's one way. Hey, Tony's Coffee House, how you doing, brother? It says Yui holding Thomas to a higher standard. Who's that? Me? Not me. Oh, what? Because I asked where his picture went, or what? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this like the idea. What? I don't know what I put in the description of this live, but it was something about so many people have like they jumped off the globe or whatever. They don't live. They just go outside and they don't see that place anymore.
Right.
Okay, that's something that I think tons of people would say, "Yep, that happened to me." Tons of people all over, or they might even say, "Yeah, I don't know," or they might even say, "Who knows?" or "Probably not," or "It doesn't really matter." I like the way I see that. If truth was like a person, right? Hey, there's truth, right? It was a person. And he came to you and he said, "Hey, checking in." And if you shut the door on him, if it's like a person, it is. It's like
It is.
it's the Son of God. But what I say, when he comes, it's actually, you could probably shut the door, and then if you ever think of it again, make sure you go back to the door, because he's still going to be there, like still waiting.
Amen.
Like it's like I feel like I do that over and over again in my life. I go, oh man, I need to go get closer. But then, like work or stuff, you get busy, and it's like this world puts like a callus on everything. And if you're not aware of, here's one thing I wanted to say. Okay, this is like a different subject, but this is something to be aware of. When I'm thinking about time, and I know I mentioned this, but time I'm getting that sound again, Tommy.
Are you?
Thanks, bro. Time is. I want to have a conversation about time. Like we could talk next week about time. There's so many things about time that everything it's like tied together. Like without time, and time's a physical like. What causes time is I can't say physical. It's viewable. It's above us, and it never stops. Okay, we all know this. We set our watches to it. That's our sunrise is because of this sky doing this thing. And that is time.
I disagree there.
Okay, can you enlighten me? Because
There's going to be a time when time stops.
yes, it's like an appointed time that was foretold and like declared already. So this clock runs from when he created it until the day that it's over. That it doesn't anymore. Right? Am I right saying that?
Yep.
And then everything will be different. I think there's still going to be something like stars, but I don't know. But I think everything will be different. I really don't know how that will look. But I just wanted to say this about time. Okay, you've heard people say that they have a personal relationship with Jesus or with God, right?
Right.
I've heard people say that a ton of times. I think I've said that myself. I know that it's true. So then like when you look at that and you're like, what do you mean by a personal relation? What, you read the Bible and feel special? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what does it mean? And if you think about this, outside of time, I don't think we have the tools to actually comprehend this thing. And I'm not saying I do. It's like a weird, I end up in a weird place where I'm like, that's just how it's way too complex. Okay. If you could go outside of time, or if anything could exist outside of time, that means that time is not a thing to it. It can, obviously it could do anything at any time, right? And
Right.
I think I mentioned this to you, like about Taylor Swift or something. She could not possibly have a friendship with everyone that's on the earth. She doesn't have enough time. But Jesus, he said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice, or, you know what I'm saying? He's calling any man, everyone. But he said that he's knocking at the door, right? From where? Heaven, outside of time. He's always knocking at the door. And then when you open it, like, I don't even know how to open it. I probably read the Gospels. What I'm saying is, like, I've opened that door and he was there. And like, I don't know how I even know that. What I'm saying is he's spent way too much time with me, or I feel like helping me or teaching me probably would be the best word to use. Teaching me to teach anybody else. But he's outside of time. So he can do that with Thomas. And he can do that with everybody.
The whole world. Yep.
That's just one of the complex things about time and God. He made a place for us that has time. And he looks at it from outside of time. So You wonder why people have these, they die or they drown or something, or they, whatever, are in an accident, or they, whatever. So many of these stories of people, and so many of them, they talk to the Son of God. How did that happen? Oh, yeah, you get to go talk to Jesus, is going to come to you, right? Well, it happens to hundreds, thousands of people that are in medical, like, stress. Because it happens to people that don't die, too. Like, that they're just, like, close to death or something. But there's channels on YouTube, like a couple that come, I don't really know too many of them. Heaven Awaits is a good one. They're a good channel. Like, I like the people that run the channel. And there's, I can't remember what, there's a bunch of them. If you just type in like near-death experience or something like that.
I used to listen to those.
So why are they all seeing Jesus? Why are they all seeing Jesus, and then they tell these like profound stories of this experience, and it really did happen to them? How can that happen? He doesn't need to like put you on his schedule. He's always there. There is no time. He went up into the sky, like above the clock that we use here that gives us time. That's
True
crazy.
that.
So yeah, time. It's just blowing my mind when I think about it.
I think it's getting shorter.
Well, like you mentioned last week, someone's trying to change time. Actually, that was on maybe a couple of years ago on Midnight Ride. That's what they were talking about. That time would be changed itself with a star, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep. It's about second Esdras.
And 15, chapter 15. And Daniel also mentioned that he will think to change times and laws. Well, God made the sun, moon, and stars to be for times, seasons, days, and years. So if someone's going to try to change that, what would they do? Maybe they'd put 3,400 Starlink satellites in the sky since 2019.
Right.
Just an idea. Maybe they would send up rockets and make fire come down from the sky 200 times now. 200 times. Maybe they'd be deceiving the world, and a bunch of people would be wearing these shirts that say Occupy Mars. Because they think they're going to go to another place because of this fire coming down from the sky. Without that, you would not ever be able to wear an Occupy Mars shirt, right?
Right. False
Because you
hope.
couldn't. Yeah, it would be. You could never get to Mars without the Starship program and without the. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Don't believe that stuff, guys. Even if you don't have to even know the details. We're trying to present like scripture and then just ways that we look at things. Like there's 2 ways to look at. There's 100 ways to look at all these things, but some of it seems to be really clear. So, if you're thinking about something and you see that there's a lie involved in it, it should make you feel uncomfortable, even if it's just a little bit. Like it's something, oh, that's not important. But it should bother you. You should be like, well, that's not right. That's not actually accurate or whatever. Like if you notice it, that means it's probably worth not like being involved with. Now, like, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to be like extreme, like if someone at your work lied or something and to get a sale or something. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
I'm just saying if there's a lie in something you believe, And if someone like a flat earther can point it out, it's really hard to not think about, is that a lie that I'm believing? Is the earth rotating? The one that's solid beneath our feet, that's at rest right now, is it rotating? Well, it could be, I suppose. But is it? I'm not asking if it could be or if we'd feel it. I'm asking, is it? Is it at rest or in motion? Is there a lie in something about it being in motion? Because it's not in motion. Look at it. It's never moved your whole life. That's something when my eyes were open to that, I'm like standing in the kitchen looking at the floor going, that's never moved.
You ain't lying.
So why am I thinking about it, whether I could feel it? Whether I could feel it is irrelevant. Is it in motion or is it at rest? I mean, I know I was involved in believing a lie when I realized that it was clearly at rest. But if you look from space, relative to what? What's your reference frame? Stop. It has nothing to do with whether the ground is moving or not. No. You're the one perceiving, right? We have the skills in our bodies to perceive these things and come to a conclusion. So, relative to our perception, that's what it's
why he gave them to us.
Yeah, we can all imagine being somewhere that we're not, but that's don't do that for your understanding of all of creation. I mean, come on.
Right.
It's written down too. It's written down very accurately. You know. But yeah, I suppose, do you got much more to say? We all got a lot more to say.
I wanted to talk about that revelation because the phone broke up.
Yeah. You were talking about the dragon and maybe the water, or is that what you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all ears, man.
12 and 13. Well, right here it says in 12, 16. Okay, so there's the dragon being cast down, which is Satan, and the woman, I think, is Jerusalem, heavenly Jerusalem. So he prosecutes the heavenly kingdom, the dragon. He's at war with it. Ain't that what John says?
Yeah, that there was makes war sense to me.
Michael fighting against heaven,
like in Daniel, it was he removed the daily sacrifice.
Sounds like the woman was moved. She's moved. Was given 2 wings of a great eagle that she might fly into the wilderness, and then she's nourished for a time, whatever. And the serpent cast out of his mouth a flood after the woman. So he's making war with the heavenly kingdom.
Yep,
and
right, New Jerusalem too.
And the earth helped the woman. What do you mean the earth helped the woman?
That's what I'm wondering.
That makes me think of flat earth, because the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood that the dragon cast out. The dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which I'm taking that to be Israel. So yes. It just, to me, to break it down in layman's, I'm like, okay, if the dragon's at war with heavenly kingdom, Jerusalem, and then the earth stops that for a minute. I'm just thinking of flat earth, and I'm like, because that took away the dominion of the dragon, because they're saying it's fake.
Yeah.
The whole flat earth thing.
I think that has something to do with that. I think that has something to do with, because it didn't say they were like protect. I can't remember how it worded it, but they were nurtured or whatever, right?
It's definitely talking about heaven, yeah, because it says
or she was nurtured.
Heaven.
I'm saying.
Yep. It just makes me the whole earth thing right
I'm
there.
Going
and the earth,
to.
And the earth helped the woman. I'm like, why would the earth
swallowed up the water, right?
Yeah, swallowed up the flood. I don't know if that's water, if that's like a flood, like if people were gonna, let's like an army, if they flooded the gates, or you know what I'm saying?
kind of looking
Yeah.
at it that way,
I
like
I
a flood,
I really don't.
like an attack.
Yeah, I can see it that way, but it just seems weird that. Let's see here. What verse was that? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
Oh, in
chapter
verse
12,
16.
16.
Yes,
Yeah.
verse. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I got. I'll put it up there. Sorry. Let's see. So, and the earth helped a woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Like, out of his mouth, it seems like it would be like lies or something, you know what I mean?
That's it. That's it. Because it
Like
spoke. Remember,
a flood,
Joe,
a flood. Well, yeah. Let's look at the Greek words and just see if that gives us any insight, you know?
because remember it spoke as a dragon.
I'm sorry, what verse was that, or don't you have it right there? It was like 13? Was it
16.
We'll just start there. Oh, okay. Sorry, let's see. I'll
Flood,
just go to
yeah.
this one. My computer's a little slow here. Okay. And helped the earth, the woman, and opened the earth, the mouth of it, and swallowed up the river which had cast the dragon out of the mouth of him. So a river.
Is that the Euphrates?
Let's see that word. I don't know. It just says a river, a torrent, a stream.
I wish I had
Let's
that.
see.
You can't get that on your phone?
A flood. I think you can. Or you can go to it like on the internet on your phone. But they do have an app. Bible Hub.
Oh, dude. Check that out.
A lot of times I go to Bible Gateway on my phone, and I don't know why, but so it's used for rivers a lot and waters. Wait a minute,
Makes me think of-
waters.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if they said flood? Now, flood makes me think of a certain thing like a flood, but Strong's Exhaustive says river, stream, water. So let's just go back and just read it with the word water in there and just see if that makes some sense, you know?
Yeah.
Waters, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Let me just go back to the...
Well, that's what it says, Joe. It says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood.
Water as a flood, but...
Yep.
The word
After the
flood
woman.
there, is that what we just looked at was flood?
Yeah.
Or what is it?
swallowed up
Rivers.
flood.
It was rivers. The Greek word was rivers, or that just when I was reading it in that order. And so that's what I clicked on was rivers, so maybe that was wrong. Water as a flood after the woman. Let's just see some of the other versions. Water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. Then the dragon
It
tried
sounds
to
like
drown
it's
the
like
woman with a flood of water.
It sounds like it's an attack, like a
Yeah,
like a
an
like a
assault.
war of a salt flood like
The
that.
serpent
kinda
poured
coming in.
water like a river out of his mouth after the woman to sweep her away. Okay. I'm just reading some of these different versions. The Berean Standard Bible. Then from the mouth of the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away in the torrent. I don't know.
Just remember
Wait
what's
a
going
minute.
on around
Yeah,
this area.
yeah, and also you're saying, look at what's happening in our world or our life or whatever.
How
Right?
would the earth help if the woman is Jerusalem, heavenly Jerusalem? How would the earth help her?
I don't know.
How would the earth help heaven? Well, if there's people attacking heaven,
Okay,
and you find out you don't live on the earth you thought you lived on, then you
treading like treading New Jerusalem underfoot. Like it says the Gentiles will do that. That they'll be treading New Jerusalem underfoot. So what is that? If they send rockets up there, could we call that treading it underfoot? Or astronauts walking around on
Now Enoch,
space stations?
Enoch confirms that because he says that they made it or is that Ezekiel? It was a highway and a threshing floor.
That was Enoch 56.
So
He said, they shall go up and tread underfoot the land of his elect ones.
what's Ezekiel say? Ezekiel says something like that.
See, like, what is, I wonder what, like, that's one of the verses that I wonder, or, like, a concept that I think did I bring that up with Sean? No, I didn't. I don't think we had time. I mean, you know how fast it goes when you're talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's been 2.5 hours already. But it goes by so fast.
Yeah. It does.
But no, that's something. I lost it already. What's wrong with me? As a flood carried away. So it was like he sent water out.
He like Joe in Ezekiel. It says, "Now I shortly pour out like it's like water, like a flood, like."
Yeah.
This is something new to me. When we were reading it earlier, it just kind of I thought about
Stuck out to you?
Yeah, it stuck out. The earth, the word earth, and I'm like, well, how would the earth help the woman if the woman is Jerusalem, which the Wisdom of Solomon and other books say that the
wait a minute.
Woman,
which earth? Think about this. No, you got a point. Because New Jerusalem, Jesus said it comes down out of heaven from my God. Down to where? Like it has to, he wouldn't say it comes down out of heaven if there wasn't a place below heaven, right?
That's what I'm thinking. That's how it moved. Because she was.
But it ain't gonna come down to a lie. Like,
listen, she was. It says right there. Let me go back there.
All right.
It says that she was moved to the wilderness.
Yeah, she got 2 great wings.
She got carried away to the wilderness, it says. Where's it at?
Ooh, Stacy says onto the pillars. Foundation.
Where's that at? Child was born right here in chapter 12:6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they shall feed her there 1,200. So they're feeding her. Like to me, that sounds like them the knowledge of heaven being given. Like they're giving.
Well, are they following the Lamb? Like in Revelation 14, John sees.
Well, they had the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Almost
the children,
like they were his witnesses.
That's what I'm saying.
Right here, Revelation 12:11. They overcame him. That's talking about the dragon.
The dragon.
They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. So they gave up their lives. That's what it said in that one version where it's kind of like dramatized. That it's newer to me. I don't know what the channel is. Maybe Holy Bible.
ESV version.
It's good though. Like it's different, and I there's some things I'm like, oh, that seems like it kind of missed out a little bit, but honestly, it's
I listened
like
to Ezekiel.
I've been into those.
Yeah.
Daniel's. You showed me Daniel.
Yeah, I listened.
Daniel
to Ezekiel.
is awesome.
I listened to Ezekiel like 3 days ago. Like
I've never listened to Ezekiel on that one.
It's pretty good.
And Revelation is good too.
It's a little different, but not much.
And what's the other? I'd listened to the Gospels like a bunch of times. Those are really good.
For sure.
I like that channel called Holy Bible. Is it called Holy Bible? I think it's called Holy Bible.
I've been looking for new ones since I lost Tyler Doka. Because
his channel is gone or just private or what?
I don't know. I can't. It's just not there anymore. So I don't know if it's private or he changed it or maybe you look it up.
Yeah, I will. I'm sure there's videos about him though.
Oh, there is.
Is it
There's tons.
DOKA?
It's a pillar of truth.
Oh yeah. Pillar of Truth, or is that what it was? Pillar of Truth?
Yeah, pillar of truth channel.
Oh yeah. Usually
You'll
it should
probably
be at
see
the
Tyler
top.
Doka up there somewhere up there.
Yeah, but I am Jesus Christ. There's
His
probably lots
channel's
of
gone.
videos about him. It is gone.
It is.
So, oh, is it right here?
What's
That's a
that?
different one?
Yeah, it's a different one, I think. Yep.
In me, we trust forever. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Ooh, they shall begin to fight amongst themselves.
Joe.
See, like this, I'm not ripping on Sean. He's doing what he's doing. But
I was just fixing to listen to that.
I just don't get it. I listen to it and I find that I'm like, I'm not, it's not that I'm not interested. It's that it seems like,
I think there's more important things.
well, there's that, but to me, like even just the idea of the Trinity, you're both like, these are semantics, if that's the right word. These are things you can't know. How's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to say, well, I think it's this way, and then I think it's this way, that's fine. But what, like, I guess, I don't think it's a bad thing for people to talk about any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
No.
But I just feel like drawn to like
As long
my
as they're calling
heartbeat.
on him, as long as they believe in him, like that's
Yeah.
now. If you're saying
Well,
there is no son of God, and it's just the Father, the God, and that's it. Like that's that kind of would get me there. But
I'm a big fan of Sean Griffin.
oh, me too.
I can't say I've watched all his videos, but I've watched a very good percentage of his videos, going way back, way
Yeah.
back.
I
Like
think
he
you
caught
shared
my
a channel with me.
attention. He caught my attention like right when he went on YouTube. I don't know how long it was, a few months after he went on or something, but he caught my attention right away, and I was like, he's like, obviously the biblical cosmology thing.
Oh yeah, he was doing some good work on that. Yeah.
He is. He still does. He does like you, Thomas. You know it the same way I know it. He's okay. Like if we were up in heaven where whatever's going on, where there's a cloud of witnesses and stuff. If we were up there, in their position, my guess is that guys like TRH and Sean would be they're like legends up there for what they're doing here.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. That's what I see. They're doing the stuff that they're doing the commandments that come down from Mount Zion. Because that's what it says in a bunch of places. It says that the law will go forth from Mount Zion. And in Second Esdras, it says that that Jesus will judge them with the law. Yeah. So I see these guys doing this gospel of the kingdom. They're teaching. So yeah, but yeah, the Trinity thing, I don't get it.
Anyone who's going against space and teaching that God's the creator's in heaven, I'm down.
Bobby Thompson. I got to email him. He was saying something about next Saturday, maybe.
There you go.
Ooh, this is a good one. Book of Ezra. Yeah, I'm just like scrolling now.
Joe, I don't get into the name. I don't get into the Trinity, and I don't either. I don't get into the food laws and the Sabbath, and nah. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Well, I think that there's, well, like there was even people that asked Jesus like about that. Oh, there was something else that I was thinking about. What was it? Oh, where was it in the Gospels where Jesus was? I can't even remember who he was with. They walked up with him, probably on I don't know where, up a mountain or something, and like two prophets showed up, but they were like, yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Do you know which one I'm talking about? And he's like, we'll build a, what does he say? Like a, oh, what did he say?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll have to. There was just something that there's a
What
story
are you
that.
referring to?
Well, it was like I can't even remember like enough to describe what
The
it.
laws, or
No,
what was
no,
it
no.
about?
It was like Abraham and Moses or something. I can't remember who it was. And they appeared to two of the disciples. Like it was like they were not alive. They were alive, but like they came as I don't know why.
Probably in
They
their
were,
probably in their glorified body.
yeah, and they were talking with Jesus. Okay. Do you know do you know where that is? Is that in the book of Matthew?
If they were talking to Jesus, that was before he was resurrected, huh?
It was before he was crucified, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To
And you
me-
know
to
what
me,
that told me? You know what
What's
that
that?
told me? That, like, I don't know what it tells me
There was
about.
already people. There was already people in heaven with new bodies.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking of.
But I don't think it was till Jesus was crucified.
So they came before.
I have no idea. That blows my mind now. I'm going to have
That
to look
does,
that
yeah.
up. I just am
That whole
trying
thing.
to think
The
what
whole
to
thing
even
you
type.
came up with. The whole thing you came up with. You were talking about the last couple weeks about that. I gotta. Yeah, I need to do that this week. Just look into that more. Try to find stuff
Yeah.
on it.
I think it's in the book of Matthew,
The
but I
whole
don't even know where.
earth was shaking. The veil was ripped. They come out of their graves. I don't.
Oh, yeah, Matthew 27.
It
Man,
just sounds
that's.
like that's a resurrection, man. I don't.
It is.
What other
They
way?
were
What
raised
other
from.
way do
They
you
were
get that?
raised. when Jesus said, "And I will raise you up on the last day."
Right.
Who is he talking to? Keep in mind,
Anyone who
he's
reads the word of
outside of
God.
time now. He's outside of time now. Because
He's talking.
I get
to
the idea that the Old Testament was not that, like, not the Bible, but I'm saying when Jesus came to this earth, one of the reasons he came was so that he had access to hell, because he came to break the teeth of the sinners. And this happened. This happened
conquered
because,
the old.
yeah, he conquered hell, and he has the keys to hell and death. So then he's resurrected, and he brings all these saints up into the holy city with him. Anthony says
Makes me
that
think
happened
of,
at his crucifixion, not his resurrection. Yes, when he gave up the ghost.
That was right before his crucifixion,
Well, no,
right?
no, or I think what I was talking about, where they appeared to. I'm gonna have to look up and just read that again because it's foggy
Listen to
in
this
my
right
mind.
here.
Okay.
Listen to this right here. This is Isaiah 11:11. I've probably said this one before. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
Yeah.
So that right there sounds like it's
The remnant of his people. That's like the people
lost
that have
sheep.
the
lost
saints
sheep.
from the last 2,000 years or whatever, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, this is Isaiah, so this is before he came the first time.
Can you read that verse again? Because that.
Let me read the 10 and 11. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. to it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. Says clearly the second time.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a picture that this happens twice.
Like one more time than we're talking about, right? That's
Yep.
what I'm getting. That's what but I don't know when. Like at the flood or something? I don't know.
No, I think. Well, if that's Isaiah, that would be the second time. That would be the.
I have no idea. I'm just because you know how Enoch 93 has those 10 weeks or whatever it is?
There you go. Yeah.
Like when I read through that, I've tried to get like you were saying, like you actually said it. How
yeah.
I feel last week. You said I ain't even trying to figure out the timing thing anymore.
No.
But because I like, tell me this: did he say he will come like a thief in the night?
To those who are not keeping watch.
Keeping watch. Okay.
Yep.
And
I know.
what about his kingdom? Would that come as a thief in the night? I don't think so.
It says it's going to come without observation, and blessed is he who keeps watch. Like,
okay,
you're not going to know it if
you have
you're
to
not.
look for it.
That's it.
You have to be looking for it as if it's coming.
And you have to be born again to see it.
Yes.
Not just to enter it, just to see it. You got to be born again.
And what does born again really mean?
Well, it has to do with repentance. That's true. It does.
And I just what comes to mind is I don't remember where in John 1 or maybe 3, but when he said, what did I ask you just a second ago? I just lost it.
You know, with the Isaiah, Joe, this second time, this could be referring to. I know it. It says in that day. I'm thinking that's the day of the Lord.
Okay.
For the second time. But the first time could still be in the day he was here.
Yeah, like when he gave up the ghost and
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it says that many bodies of the saints arose and went into the holy city and were seen by many.
Maybe that was the Ezekiel, the bones, the people. To me, it just sounds like like the resurrection, because Revelation says that blessed is he who takes part in the first resurrection. So it sounds to me like there's two resurrections. Like there's the resurrection then, and then the resurrection at the last day, at the end. That's what I'm. I can't prove that. I mean, in a way,
that kind of says something about, like, I think that, like, I don't know how to tie it together.
I don't either.
Something about the way that people lived, like making an altar, and the way that it even says in Isaiah, God even says, like, I didn't expect you to do this. I didn't ask for an offering from you, and you dragged me through all your sins, and it wearied me, but I will blot out all your transgressions for my name's sake. Do you know what I mean? So he's like making a filthy thing white and clean for his name's sake. And I think that why that happens is to be a witness for, like, even God, I'm saying, to be like, for people that don't believe in him. He's giving them more reason.
When I read these prophets, especially the Old Testament, I feel this sense of, it's just me speaking freely here, I feel this sense of things were happening on the earth and the temples then with these people, and then they were prophesying of that to happen again, but in the last days.
Yeah, And
because it kind of goes back and forth. Like, I don't know.
like you were saying when I was reading about Luke 24, or what you were saying that made me read Luke 24, where they were like, they thought that he was going to restore the kingdom like right then.
Yeah, I know that's the day of the Lord. Like,
Yeah.
when the Old Testament prophets were prophesying, they were speaking of the day of the Lord, like
Yep.
the final coming, because
When destruction happens, like when
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because
they
happens when a
describe it.
dragon is loosed for a short time. You know, like I don't understand all that, but I'm just saying it seems that's the time now. This is Armageddon.
But that could have been, Joe. That could have been like some of the things in there, because to me it sounds like he's talking about let's just use Isaiah, whatever, gathering the people and God being with them, whatever, and then like a judgment, them declaring things, witnesses.
Yep.
But then it also sounds like he's talking about things that are happening in his day, because it kind of goes back and forth.
Yep.
He'll be like in that day or whatever, that time, this was happening or that was happening. And then he'll go into the prophecy, like what the Lord shows him or whoever. It kind of sounds like about all of them. Ezekiel's kind of that way too.
Well, it's like sometimes it, like, behold, mine elect, Isaiah 42, I think, where he's like, it sure sounds like he's talking to Jesus, but then he says that, like, the next chapter, he's like, who among them can declare this? He's like, call my sons and daughters from the ends of the earth. And
right.
who among them can declare this and show us the former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may hear it and say it is truth. Like that. What I'm saying is that is a prophecy of the day of the Lord.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
That's what Jesus. I really do think that's one of the reasons how Jesus knew to say that this gospel of the kingdom will be preached unto all nations as a witness, and then the end shall come. Like all the things that he said after the tribulation of those days, like there was timing to somewhat to understand there.
Listen right here. This is in Isaiah right here. This is what I'm talking about.
All right.
And in chapter 38 says, in those days was Hezekiah, I can't say his name, sick unto death. See, he's talking about things then, and then in other chapters he's talking about the day of the Lord, the things that will be happening in the end. And it's kind of, to me, it sounds like that through all of them. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, they kind of go back and forth. Most of it to me is speaking of the day of the Lord, like the end, the fall of Babylon.
I think it is because you got to realize too that, like, if you were shown something and wrote it down, you'd be writing it down from the world that you live in,
that you were living in then. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you writing it down, I think that's where, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are getting confused. A lot of them would say, no, that was talking about then. That's not talking about. He was prophesying things.
Like when I was talking with Sean about Ezekiel, whatever that was, 8, and he was saying, no, that's talking about the, what they were doing then. And I'm like, well, it says the end has come upon thee. Like, it's clearly talking about the end.
Yeah,
well,
they make it clear.
The end of that, maybe, who knows? But the end is the day of the Lord. Like, that's when, doesn't fire come down out of heaven and destroy the dragon?
The elements melt.
Like at Armageddon, I'm saying that the end of that, is that Revelation 19?
It's just talking about destruction on all these, like.
Yeah, it is. Whoops.
Like right here in Isaiah 13, it's talking about Babylon will be punished, but then it goes into talking about what's in Lucifer's heart, hell being moved, and
yes, hell being moved. Let's see here.
I don't understand the whole Satan being cast out with his angels. I got Satan on the earth in Job.
Yep.
messing with Job, tricking Job, and then I got Satan being thrown out of heaven in Revelation, throwing down. I don't think he's coming from heaven where God's at. I think he's
You
coming
got
from
him
the abyss.
bringing Jesus to the highest mountain.
There you go. And Job, is that Job?
No, in the Gospels, in Matthew, I think it may be.
So he was on the earth.
Well,
right?
But he brought Jesus to the top of a high mountain. That could be up in the Mount Zion.
I think
type
it
of
is.
mountain.
I think it is. Yeah.
Or it could
But
be
how
even
did
like one of the other 7 mountains that Enoch saw as those stars.
That's what I think it is. Yeah. That's
So
what I
maybe he
think
took
it
him up there and said, "Look at this place that you could have." Do you know what I'm
Jesus was the-
saying? Like, look at
Jesus
this
and-
solar system.
Jesus and Satan were the first people to actually go to Mars.
Yep, something like that. But because he could see the whole world.
For sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's kind
There's
of a
still
weird.
a lot. There's still a lot. Yeah, that I haven't figured out.
But
Probably
it's
never will.
interesting to it's good to study it, man. We can all
is.
learn.
Yeah, it's good to talk about it too, for sure. And other ideas,
Okay.
you know. Some of these,
Yeah.
some of these conversations, man, I really like. I like how people they don't talk over each other. They just speak, let the other person talk, let them say how they see it, and then I'm talking about with Bible discussions. But then some
Yeah.
of them are just they go against what the other person's saying, so then they just shut down, and then they're just like attack mode. And I'm like, oh, we shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Just
Yep.
I can't
Satan
stand
cast
that.
into the lake of fire. So there is a lake of fire in the Bible, guys.
Yeah, that's Revelation there.
And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out
Let's just
to
say this.
Yeah.
Let's just say this. Let's say the resurrection when Jesus was crucified was the time when he would start his kingdom in heaven. Heavenly kingdom, not talking about an earthly kingdom. And he's
That's
gonna
what
bring
it.
his
That's
heaven-
what I think. Exactly what you're saying, dude. That's what I'm learning. Like from, especially the first book of Adam and Eve. Like,
mean, let's just
there's
say-
prophecies in there where he says you can't come back yet, Adam. Not
Let's just
until
say-
I shed my blood in Golgotha. Like, there's specific.
Okay, so Adam's back with Christ again,
Yeah, in his kingdom.
in his kingdom after after he did what he did when he was crucified, conquered Sheol, took his people, took the captives out of Sheol and put them
led the fallen angels that were buried in the earth, led them
Put them
off
in the
to the
abyss.
abyss of fire.
And then time goes by. He's actually ruling and reigning from heaven. His people,
Yes.
his generations, his people are still on earth.
So
And then whatever 70 years ago, all of a sudden, here
we're
we
putting
go.
satellites. Yeah.
We start thinking we can go into heaven, and there you go. Then there's the beginning of the short season.
And
That's
here's the
kinda
other
what-
thing. It says
that's kinda what I'm-
when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. But think about this. That
As
could have been
dragon,
1,000.
he
That could
cast
have been but that could have been 1,000 years ago. He had no way to manifest what he has now. He had to build it. Maybe it took 1,000 years to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Yep.
kind of, just giving ideas. But so, like, we're at the peak of
Just think
his
about
of Satan's kingdom. We're at the entire top time in Satan's kingdom because now he has got men
He's misled the whole world.
bringing him up to the sky and orbiting the earth, and the earth believes that there's a dragon orbiting up there, like on this orbiting laboratory that costs billions of dollars.
So like the Daniel 7, Daniel 8, Amos 9:2, where they climb up to heaven, I'll bring them down. The Obadiah, they exalt themselves as the eagle, I'll bring them down. That's all talking about the short season of Satan, right before the judgment. That's what
Like,
I'm thinking.
you're thinking like when they start to kind of do some of these things, when they're climbing
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
Yep. I know most people would say, no, that's before the 1,000 years. Because that's what I thought too. And I'm like, that can't be, because like the beast of Satan's beast and all that,
To me,
Yeah.
that has to be in the short season of Satan, because that's when he's doing what he's doing.
That's
and
when he's giving the
using-
beast his power and seat and
Making
great
the fire-
authority. The
making
dragon
fire
does
come
that.
down. Yep.
Yep, and
Yep.
like one thing I would say, like I think it's most important. Like we're talking about all these kind of maybe like details, but there's a lot of them, or there's a lot of things to think about that are happening. But even if you don't think about those things, do you really think that it's a good idea to be making reusable rockets, spending like muko bucks to build some gigantic rocket to send up to eventually go to make a civilization on? Is this a good idea, or is this just dumb? Where they got to drink their own like waste, you know,
Their
'cause
own
you
dung.
can't, all of it, all this gross stuff, and they call it science. They think if they're innovative and everything, but they're doing dumb things up there.
When Jesus said, in that day, they will come to me and they will say, we prophesied in your name. We cast out devils in your name. And he said that, get away from me, workers of iniquity. I never knew your name. I think them are those people that are involved in that.
It could be like
really
workers of iniquity.
Workers of iniquity, transgressors, the wicked of the earth, the wicked. Not like,
Oh yeah,
not
you
like-
know what?
not like I do drugs or I got an attitude or I do this or I do that. No, like
You're
you
wicked
rise
with what you say. That's
you
how.
rise up against. Yeah, but you rise up against
And
God
do.
in heaven. Like, yeah.
Well, I just know that, you know, like, if you stand back from the world. Okay, I made a TikTok video. Oh, I was showing my TikTok screen. You guys look at this. This is pretty crazy. Look at this video I put up. This is that one I was talking about last week. It's got 590,000 views.
Wow, it's good, man.
It's all Bible verses.
It's making people think. Yeah, that's good.
I don't think you can hear that anyway, but it says, how did the Bible know this would happen? And then I
remember that
did a bunch of verses out of the Gospels just of the powers of heaven shall be shaken. I mean,
Oh, your new one. Your new one was good this morning, man. The pride. I was like, wow.
yeah, you know what? I heard that. You won't believe who I heard that from.
Who'd you hear that from?
Space Eccentric.
Wow.
You know who that is, I think. I think you're subscribed, probably.
I think I've heard the name.
He's what's his name? Kevin. Like he went to like the Starship, you know, where Elon Musk was there. He asked Elon Musk a question, you know, like during the thing. But he is a big rocket guy. And one time he did like a talk somewhere or something, like someone asked him to do a talk about whatever. And
Right.
at the end of it, he just kind of out of nowhere, he said, like, he was all winded down, like, thanks for listening or whatever. And then at the end, he goes, something like, I found that this world is a crazy place to live, lots of crazy things happening, but I've always found that in the Word of God that there's comfort or something like that. And I was like, whoa, caught my attention. And the way he says stuff, like, he might not be at all where we are, like with the earth and stuff like that, but I'll tell you that he says stuff like, he says another flock of Starlink were put up in whatever. Like, he'll say stuff that I'm like, I think he sees a problem with the launching the rockets, but he loves parachutes, I guess. But anyway, Jesus is working on people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was just fixing to say something's tapping him on the shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can just tell by the way he says stuff. Even like, oh, what did he say? He said something like, well, it's pretty crazy that we do have a dragon flying in the sky or whatever. But he does like, I don't know, space reports, or I don't know what you call it, but
hopefully, Joe.
Space Eccentric.
Hopefully, there's a time during that destruction. That's what I'm praying for. That they're
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know how that goes.
But
But
there's
I-
gonna be
but-
a chance. There's gonna be a chance to repent. Then I hope
Yeah. Yeah.
that's up to God. I would say God definitely could do that, and that might be in there. That might like be part of it, part of the will at the end there. I hope, but
Dude, there's some
I-
good comments in here.
I wouldn't take that chance.
There's some good comments in here. Like TikTok, there it has 1,644 comments, but like this is a good one. We are in the moment of truth. You're either with God or against Him. Don't give in, people. That
There
one's
you
got
go.
748 likes. That comment does. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, is my light, my guide, is always will be the Alpha and Omega. That's got 622 likes. This is why I like TikTok, you guys.
Yeah,
It's not because it's some weird app that takes all your data or
you
whatever.
did a lot. You've done a lot for many years on YouTube, man. You got thousands of videos. You spent a lot of time.
You know what? Well, I can show you, I think. Let's see. Let me go.
I still watch
just-
your old videos. I watch your old videos every week. I go
Look at
way
this.
back, 2-3 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there. They have like
Oh, yeah.
3,500 videos or something. But look at this. New achievement. 1 million views 3 weeks ago. Your videos are getting so much interest and playtime. I just lost 4 subscribers from the last time I checked. And when did I start my TikTok?
I remember
don't
when you
even
had
know.
I remember when you had less than 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
But that's the weird thing is like I'm getting that sound really bad again.
I remember
Um,
when you started reading Daniel.
It was
crazy.
blowing my mind, man. Whoops, what did I click? Did I click the right? Oh yeah, I just went
like-
out the video.
The ones you were doing in your basement, I think it was, or downstairs, wherever.
Yeah, yeah.
You was in like panic mode. You were like, next week, probably next week. Yeah, it's probably gonna happen next week.
That's what I felt like. I still feel like that. I
do
do.
too.
I still like.
One launched today. One just launched like an hour ago, I think.
Yeah, it was Indonesia for Indonesia,
Yep.
but it was SpaceX.
Yep.
A Falcon 9 coming up out of the earth, speaking like a Indonesian, I guess.
I think it's gonna be Leviathan. I keep calling it Leviathan Starship.
Look at this
think-
one's got 471,000 views.
I think
TikTok has a lot of traffic.
I think the dragon was our precaution, our pre-warning. It's like, all right, when you
I
start
think
seeing
so.
this,
It's
ready for
undeniable.
get ready for what's next.
It's
But
been
it does
two.
say,
Go
it
ahead.
does say the fourth beast destroys the earth,
Yeah, he shreds it into or breaks it into pieces.
and Daniel said it was a little horn. So I mean,
A little
I
horn
don't
that by the way, it moves over the face of the whole earth without touching the
But
ground.
haven't
By
you-
the way,
Joe, haven't you thought you're like the Falcon Heavy? Because it does sound like Falcon Heavy. And the one in Second Ezra sounds like Falcon Heavy too. The one where they collide.
like the
in the air.
eagle with the eagle with the 3 heads, dude. That sounds like Falcon
Yeah,
Heavy.
That's it. Yep. But I'm
It
like,
looks like Falcon Heavy. It's like white and black. You know what I mean? Like a bald eagle.
it's launched so many times. Why ain't it?
But
that's
it's
gonna do
never
it.
launched. It's never launched with the Dragon capsule. So if
Are you
you
sure?
like, it's never launched with the Dragon capsule, ever. They really don't have a reason to do that. It was supposed to to go to Mars. That's what they designed that rocket for. Like the Dragon. Remember, it was called Red Dragon when they first designed it.
Yeah. Dragon
And it's
2,
now they call it Dragon 2 or Crew Dragon.
Crew Dragon.
Because now they're
Maybe
flying
when they-
crew in it, right?
Maybe when they put 7 people in it, they're gonna have to use that to get them up.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. No, that something. Here's the reason why I say that, because I agree with you, and you guys probably think we're crazy if you don't really get what we're talking about. Anthony says the fourth beast. What the heck is that? He's talking about in Daniel 7. He sees 4 great beasts, and they were kings that shall arise out of the earth. And I think what he was seeing was
I'll find it real quick.
what we're seeing. You know, like we all talk about the space shuttle days, and then that was retired. And it seems like that could be the first beast that Daniel's describing, because he gives like more than one indication that that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, it says right here in 7:23, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. So whatever that fourth beast is the fourth kingdom, and it destroys the earth.
And I think it's like the Falcon 9 or something like that. You know, like, yeah. It's kind of depressing, actually. Like, every once in a while, I'm just like overweighted with, like, why is this happening right now? Really? Like frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon, making fire come down from the sky. First time in 2,000 years that there's been a dragon in the firmament.
A cat
Since John,
walking on snow.
Yeah.
That's
I'm just
prophecy being fulfilled right there. Look at that cat.
Yeah.
That's
I just am scrolling. See, I do have, if you guys haven't followed me on TikTok, please do. If you ever go there. A lot of people don't go to TikTok.
Yeah,
You are missing out on some fun videos.
Man, I get
Like,
stuck on those shorts. I get stuck on those shorts, and like 3 hours goes by. I'm like, oh my god, did I just sit on there for 3 hours watching those things?
Oh yeah,
Terrible.
it's easy to just
They're addicting, yeah. They're addicting.
Oh, I like this one. God made the firmament. SpaceX trying to wreck it. It's not really funny at all, but
It's not. It's scary, and then it's not. It's like, well, we know what comes next. I think I told you this a couple weeks ago. It's like all these things that were written to happen, the fire coming down out of heaven, the dragon at war in heaven. Just think about all the other things that were written that are going to happen. So
I know.
if those are coming that true right before our eyes, so I was going to take the other stuff's going to come true right before our eyes too.
it seems like to me, you know how like they're gonna try to go under the rocks and hide us from the one who sits on the throne. That means they're gonna be able to see him, dude. Like that's one thing that I was thinking about. Like if they're, because they're hiding under the rocks in not just for fun. They're doing it because they can see the one on the throne, and they're like, ah. So like, what is that? Is that a very like a people that are here that have denied his name or something?
Listen to that, Isaiah 24. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth. There's that earth being devoured again. And them that dwell thereon are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned. But it does say, and few men left.
Okay.
So there's people left.
Is that in Jeremiah?
No, that's Isaiah 20. Isaiah 24.
Oh, okay.
That's the judgment. That's the God's judgment on the earth.
Yep.
But to me, it sounds like there's going to be few people left. I think those are the people that they never see death. Those are the ones spoke of in Revelation. I don't know how many, but.
Oh, Anthony elaborated on his question from earlier. That is why I asked. Let me go back. Revelation 7:1. That is talking about the same thing. That's why I asked about Revelation 6:17 and whose wrath it is. Is it the devil's, the son's, or Yah's wrath? Then when does the wrath happen? Good questions.
Revelation 7.
6:17. He was asking about 6:17, saying whose wrath it was. It the wrath of the Lamb? Is that what it was? Or I'm just saying that maybe that's from a different place.
Well, remember, all judgment was given to the Son. So.
Oh, good question. Look at this question. Let's go to this question. This is a great question because I actually have an idea, like a plausible idea of. Thomas, do you know what I'm talking about? Revelation 7:3. What are the four angels there to do? To hurt the earth, man.
They hold back the winds until they're told to let go.
And then it's given to them to hurt the earth and the sea and
Yep.
the trees or whatever.
Yep.
And you know what's interesting? Are those Michael's angels? I'll bet you they are.
They're God's angels. Yeah.
So they're the angels that are holding back the winds. And then let me just put something on your screen. They're holding back the winds. Look at this. This is a SpaceX launch. It's a Dragon. That's like a SpaceX Dragon doing that to the sky. And then Revelation's talking about 4 angels holding back the 4 winds from hurting the earth until the servants of God are sealed in their foreheads. I think we're in that time. I think we're being sealed in our foreheads. So what happens if that's when someone believes the truth, that something supernatural happens?
And then there's those that are sighing and crying for the warfare that be done in Jerusalem.
Yep. And there's those that aren't.
Yep.
But no, yeah, like, is that in like chapter 9 in Ezekiel?
Different. It just sounds like Ezekiel. It sounds like there's different people being sealed different ways, different things they're doing.
Yes. There's a book of life with like names written in it.
That's right.
And then there's the book, the 7 seals, that only the Lamb.
You think if God's seal is unseen, you think Satan's seal is unseen? His mark?
That's a
like
good
God's
question.
God's seal.
Well, but is the seal of the living God, is that unseen?
I personally don't think it's something you're going to walk around and say that person's sealed and that person's
Oh,
sealed.
you know, I agree with you. I see what you're saying.
So. I don't think Satan's seal is, or Satan's mark is neither. The mark of the beast. I don't think it's something you're going to see.
Anthony's saying, slow down with the rockets. But Anthony, I hope you got what I'm saying. Like, that's literally the winds right there. The 4 winds.
Revelation
And
8,
all that stuff they're doing to the atmosphere. I'm just saying they're definitely talking about the winds and this kind of stuff happening in our sky where we know the 4 winds are, right? That could definitely be a battle between the dragon and those 4 angels.
These 7 angels he's talking about right here.
In Revelation?
Yeah, the first sounded, they followed. This is something being thrown out of heaven right here. Stuff's being thrown down from heaven onto the earth.
Mountains. Revelation 8, verse 8, a great mountain burning with fire is cast into the sea. I know that's after what he put down here, but that right there is the same exact wording right here. As it were, a great mountain burning with fire. Enoch called those 7 wandering stars, the 7 transgressing stars, he called them great mountains burning with fire. Twice.
For sure.
I like this. Anthony's like telling us where to go. I like this. Achilles, thank you.
He's telling you not to think about the rockets. Just read the verse, I guess.
Yeah, no, and that I was just trying to give an example about like something that seems like it makes sense, you know. Go to Revelation 16, 1 through 2. Or let's read 6. I didn't even read 6. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. Wait, let me reword that as a joke. Hail and Starlink satellites mingled with something. Like, is it just a coincidence that Elon Musk they've launched by now like over 3,000 of those Starlink satellites into quote unquote orbit? They've thrown them into the pit, dude. They're just falling into the pit. But anyway, and they were cast upon the earth, and a third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. So that has not happened yet, right?
No.
We'll know when that happens.
I think that's the final. That's the final. That's
Yeah,
before
the first angel.
Yeah.
And this is the first 4 trumpets here. So, yeah, and then the next one after the great mountain burning with fire, that was a star, fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. Now, this is what Achilles was looking at. That wormwood might not be make much sense there for that word.
That just means bitter.
I think you're right, and there was
That's all it means.
Achilles actually commented up here a ways about that, and
I think that's the ISS.
could be
I do. I think that's the
cast into the sea, not the
waters above.
and
it made the earth.
third part of
and
the
it
sea
made-
became blood.
And it made the earth bitter because they were godless. They didn't believe in God anymore.
Oh, it says a third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. So it killed creatures that were in the sea. Oh,
Because the sea's going to be destroyed because
the
of
third
it.
part of the ships were destroyed, like the space junk, whatever.
Can't prove that. I think it's either the ISS or Mars.
Look at this. A lot of this is happening in the sky, but a lot of it, the first one wasn't. The first one was happening on the earth. And then it says the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon. So this is like a progression of. So you know what? What you said about you hope there's some time somehow in there.
It sounds like it, don't it?
It sure does. And I think I even remember a part where they were burned, and they still wouldn't repent.
Repent. Yeah.
But then there was a place where a bunch of people repented, or they gave glory to the God of heaven. It says,
And we don't know the order of this book neither. We really don't. Hate to say that.
Here's some insight from Anthony. I know, Anthony, we're going fast because I'm just we've been going for 3 hours and 21 minutes. We're pretty much done.
Or hardcore.
But this has been good to look at this stuff. Anthony says alternate
For sure.
between the trumpets and coordinating vial. I've never done that. I don't think.
I don't know what that means.
The vials poured out or whatever. Are there 7 of those?
Where's the
We'll have to look
valve?
into. Well, let's do Revelation next week too. You were saying you wanted to anyway.
Yeah. For sure.
Lee Redpath, you're showing up just in time. Just kidding. Good to see you. He says I got to rewind 3 hours.
Because look, Joe. The trumpets are here, and then we go over to 9. This is 2 more trumpets blast,
Yep.
and this angel's given the key to the pit. This Apollyon.
Oh, in 11, yeah, right here.
You see what I'm saying there?
They had a
It's
king
kinda-
over them, which is the angel
Was
of
the
the
king-
bottomless pit. Wow,
Was the
that just
was the
sounds like
king
Elon Musk.
was the king already there before? Obviously, this is the earth being destroyed right here. Star falling from heaven. Sounds like it. I don't know.
I like this
sun-
here. I expect it. This is the contingency plan says. I expect an ISS catastrophe at some point. I think its usefulness as a psyop has about run its course, and too many are waking up to it. I see a meteor strike or some other nonsense. That's something to think about.
Hey,
Actually, you know what? I've actually thought about that.
Somewhere in Second Esdras, it sounds like, I think it's Second Esdras. It sounds like they get stuck. He how do I say this? I don't remember it quite offhand, but it says something about he'll pay them a visit, and he's gonna I forget how it says it. Sounds like they're not gonna be able to get up. That's what it sounds like. sounded like they weren't going to be able to get to the ISS for a moment, and then he's going to like stop them from being.
Are you saying
I forget where it's at.
like what, like in Daniel, or I think it's in Daniel, or no, maybe that's in Revelation. I get them mixed up, but where he says the rest of the beasts had their dominion taken away, but their lives were spared, or something like that.
No, this is in
You're talking
Second
about something
Ezra.
else.
Yeah, it sounds like, to me, it sounded like they were stuck there for a minute. They couldn't. The people were stuck on there, and he comes to pay he puts them there for, I think it's for like a month or something, 40 days, and then it sounds like he comes to them, like he shows his face to them. That's what it sounded like. I forget what it was. I'll have to find that.
That's
It just
interesting,
sounded like
though.
that.
The
Yeah,
trumpets
something-
don't end until chapter 15, Anthony says.
Something big's gonna happen. Let's put it that way.
So, I was going to see if I could show you guys something, but
I don't look at the
know if I
sky
have
the
it.
same anymore.
Oh.
No.
I don't either. It's a new heaven.
I'm like paranoid with it. I'm like, today the day?
It depends on how many rockets they launch, right?
Mm.
I mean, I don't know that, but that's
How did we
sure
get-
what it seems like the prophets saw.
Check this out. We had the I think it was a dragon, actually. Then we had that mighty earthquake, remember? And it killed all those people over there and wherever.
Like Turkey or something?
Yeah. We had that one. What was that, last year?
Yeah.
Might have been this year. I can't remember.
It was
But
just
that
like,
one-
it was less than a year ago.
And then a couple weeks ago, they launched 2 in one day, and then we had that blood red moon, like blood red.
Yeah.
And then the one the other day, and then like half the country was all smoked out, and I was like,
Yeah,
Is
the
this what
sun
we're-
was looking weird.
is this what we're seeing right now? Like,
It could be. Smoke, I don't know, man. It just seems to be like, to me, this thing seems to happen every year with these. With
somebody
the smoke.
even posted that, Joe, the earthquake one, the one in Turkey. I remember that they said this dragon launch. It showed the plume and everything, and it was going over Turkey. They could see it from over there.
Oh, there's Melgig. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
From the UK.
I can't remember, but the people
Mel
over
Giggs
there,
channel.
the people over there were filming it.
And you could see the RCS thrusters going.
You could see the plume,
Yep.
and then it was like 4 or 6 hours later they had that earthquake. I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
no connection. No connection.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Like, I don't know. Nobody knows the future. But if we read carefully, it's not the prophets just telling us a secret or something. They're warning us.
for sure.
It's like a warning saying, God showed me this, and this is a time of great distress.
Yes, sir.
Naming videos when you have so many
That
videos on your
song.
channel is
What's that
so
song?
bad.
I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes I wonder. I'm
So,
I mean,
let's see.
I didn't have much of a life back then neither, but
I feel like playing Space, The Good Abyss.
these things haunt you.
You want to watch a video that's, how long is it? Let's see. 12 minutes? You got 12 minutes?
I'm literally parked at my receiver right now.
You're like
so-
ready to roll?
I have all night, man.
All right, I'm going to play this video.
I'm
And then,
hardcore.
I don't know, we'll probably, I'm pretty worn out now.
I hear you, man.
That's pretty
We'll figure
sad
it out.
if you get worn out from sitting in a chair and talking. Man, I'm bushed. All right, here we go. This is called Space, The Good Abyss, but side note, there is no good abyss.
No.
Whoops, what happened? Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't select it, duh. Here we go. The moon has 4 names. Asanja, Ebla, Benes, Ere. The Son has two names, Orgeres Tomez. Enoch 78. The question I'm going to ask here is, what are the planets? 7 of them. Mars, Venus, Mercury, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. These are evil planeo, seducers. They lead astray, they cause to wander, they deceive. These 7, at the beginning of their rising, they didn't come out at their appointed time that God ordained and commanded them. And so he was angry with them, and he bound them in the blackness of darkness until judgment. He imprisoned them. Then, in Genesis 6, there were angels that came down to the earth and lusted after the daughters of men. And they created offspring with these daughters of men. And the offspring were mighty giants and very evil. And when these giants died, their spirits would stay on the earth and become evil spirits. And the angels that came down would be buried in the earth for 70 generations. And then when that time came, they would be led off to the abyss of fire. And the abyss of fire is also known as outer darkness, the blackness of darkness, Sheol, many different names and descriptions, the wilderness. It's a spiritual place, and it's a prison. This is why so many people today are gathered against this organization, I should say these organizations, that call themselves space agencies. They are not going to a place that is a solar system. They're being lured into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Nobody realized this. And so Apollo came and went with the moon missions. And they landed on the moon, they say. But the moon is a light. And as I said a few minutes ago, it has 4 names: Asandra, Ebla, Benese, and Ere. So, as children, everyone alive today was taught that these 7 evil, transgressing, bound up, imprisoned luminaries were places to go. And now we have Elon Musk trying to go to Mars to create a world for humanity, just in case this world goes bad. This is a mistake to take part in any of this. It's a mistake to believe in any of this. It's a mistake to believe that this is for humanity. It's not. It's the devil and the demons. The fallen angels have now invited men by their inspiration. They've invited men to create technology, and they've taught men, especially Elon Musk, they've taught him how to go into that darkness, and they're coming back through into the earth because men are basically opening the jail cell. So although we were taught these planets were places in a solar system, they're not. The stars in the sky, besides these 7, all circle the North Star. These 7 are the only ones that don't. And actually, there's an 8th one now, because there's the space station. 8 wandering stars. John, in Revelation 17, went to a place where there were 7 mountains, and the 8th was the beast. And the reason why that interests me is because Enoch also went to a place that had 7 mountains. And guess what those mountains were? They were those 7 stars that didn't obey God. And it's even said in the book of Enoch that those fallen angels and those 7 transgressing stars would defile mankind and lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. By assuming many different forms. We're in a spiritual battle today, and almost everybody's probably not aware of the things that I just explained. And that means you're losing the battle. Because we need to come out of this place. This place where there's planets, this solar system where there's a globe. Run away from it. It's nothing but wickedness. And it is a trick that the devil is still deceiving many of you with. And no, I don't know everything. But I do know this. And I didn't learn this from myself. I learned it from a higher power that's trying to get this information to people in this physical material world we live in, called the Earth. This information comes down from heaven by the old writings of the prophets. They wrote about these things long ago. And it was even written that it would be kept secret until the end. And then it would be revealed. The sevenfold doctrine of God's whole creation would be received in the world at the end. That's today. So what I'm saying is, jump off the ball. It's flat. It's stationary. You know it. I know it. The pride that makes you want to stay on that globe isn't worth it. Get rid of it. I did. It's the best thing I ever did. The earth is a plane. And live in the world that you experience. Don't live in the world that this world and science has tried to sell us all. Because it's false. And all their efforts in the sky will come to naught. And God won't have any pity. Come out of her, my people. Don't partake in her sins, because they're reaching up to heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Sitting on a dragon on top of the beast. It's a bottomless pit in this abyss of darkness.
I really believe in the space frontier, the abyss, so to speak.
The good abyss. The good abyss.
Yeah, there's no good abyss, guys. Even if it costs millions of dollars to get to, it's still not a good abyss.
Right.
Only 600 people have made it into this abyss. So, I really don't think they're people. Because people don't live in an abyss. Man. Am I right? Why would you want to go live where you're perpetually falling? Like, it's just a trick. They're like, you can do this. Everybody can do this. You guys could come and live out here. We already made the machines. I mean, yeah, like, we reclaim, like, all your liquids. So you just, like, cycle them through every day. You know, mix it up with everybody that's up here. It's really gross. And it's not it's not what God designed. Go ahead.
Can you rewind that video a little bit to where that fire's coming down out of heaven, that ring?
Yeah.
It looks like a ring.
Yep.
See if you can.
That's when they got three Merlins going, I think.
I'm gonna read this verse right here.
Yeah. You want me to play this or just show it on the screen, like just pause it?
See,
like
there
that?
you go, right there. Yep.
Play it or just leave it?
Just leave it for a second.
Okay, gotcha.
It says here in Ezekiel 1. It says, the appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went straight. But listen to this, as for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. To me, every time I see that, I'm like, is that those rings of fire?
You know what's interesting? In the chat here, where was it?
Because these are actually these I think Ezekiel's calling them creatures, not beasts.
Look at this too. Is it a coincidence? Jeff asks, what's your opinion on Saturn's rings? They have to have a meaning of some sort. Yeah, it's something. It's a weird thing. It's, I think it just has to go. It's like messes with the minds of men, and all of a sudden we know what it is and everything,
Right.
It's like, it could be a diamond floating out there, and men would have some sort of sciencey reason that of course that would happen. Like what do they call those? Where the gravity in space is like somewhat equalized, so it's a something point. What do they call it? Where something can just sit in one spot. Lagrange point or something.
Oh, okay.
So
Got you.
that I think that James Webb that they said, I think that's at a Lagrange point or something. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you know what? If you look into the abyss really far, you can see the beginning of time. That's what they believe, you guys.
You're gonna see the end of time.
Yeah, like looking at the
thing we're on the
sky
other
does
side,
not
right?
tell you. You can't rewind the clock. I mean, we can like conceive of what would happen if we, because it's like a cycle, you know. We could do that, but there's changes that happen, like September 23rd, 2017, things like that are very rare, or one of a kind, and they just happen to be described in Revelation. That is interesting to me. That's interesting stuff.
Crazy times, man.
All right, man. 3 hours 45. I think it's a record
For sure.
for us. Anyway.
Oh no,
well,
we went.
I've done
we
some
went
long
6 hours
streams.
one time. Yeah.
I think I've done 3 hours and 45 minutes by accident, not even knowing I'm streaming with just like a blank screen. And Tony will call, you're live streaming.
I remember when you fell asleep that one time. I woke up and you were still going.
Yep. Did it like just like loop it or something? I can't even remember.
I think so. Just kept going.
It was late though. It was like 2 a.m. or something, I think.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, there was all these comments. You still there, big guy?
Oh Lord.
Don't chat too loud. Don't want to wake him up. All right. Well, thanks again, Thomas.
No problem, man. Doing it for God.
So let's.
Trying to.
I'm gonna write some stuff down about time, because it's
Right.
such a complex thing, both like in nature of reality, like as I'm saying, like how we use it, or like how we use the sky to tell time or whatever. But like there's so many other elements of time, like memory and a past and a future. There's just so much. I think that, like, if we just kind of break it down and talk just generally about all these different aspects that time like basically binds us to certain things in our life, and it allows us to remember things and to hope for things to happen in the future. Like, there's a lot involved with time, but
For sure.
we could also look at Revelation too. A lot, because there's so much. Every time we do that, I learn so much about
In this world, it's time and money. Time and money. Can't stand it.
Yeah, the money. That's
If I want
that's a
any
hard
new thing, it would be for those two things to be done with. I can't stand them.
Well, I think you know what I think.
There's people
Yeah.
talking about getting their mansion in the holy city and all that, and that's fine. Hey, I'll be happy with no more time and no more money. We're good.
Yeah, but you know, like I don't think that
Put me
any
down
of
by
us.
the river.
I don't think anybody, any of us could imagine what that
What-
reality is. That's you know
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We-
I mean, we
we
want
got
to
what
know. We
We got what
yeah,
the
we got.
prophet said.
Yeah, like in that story where Lazarus is like, "Let me go," or yeah, was it Lazarus? "Let me go tell my brothers, surely they'll repent." And then he said, "No, they got the prophets."
Right.
And if they don't listen to the prophets, they wouldn't repent or something like that.
Yeah.
But we do have the prophets, all of them. So
If you don't believe in the prophets, how do you believe in their source or where they got their information from?
well, and that's just the thing, is a lot of people truly think that it's just a man-made book, and that's what I think. without reading it, that's easy to think that.
Yep.
Like without taking it in. I mean, I was thinking about this too. And I don't think we've ever really talked about it. I don't think I've ever really thought about it this way, but I'm thinking of a movie like what's the one with Atreyu and I forget what it's called. But he's like
What is
up
it
in
about?
it's like the guy's name or the kid's name in it was Atreyu. It's like a never-ending story.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so just like
Is it a dog?
yeah, it was like a big white thing that he would ride around on, but like in that story, like he was reading a book.
Yeah.
It was a kid that was like a rainstorm, and he was like stuck in the attic of like some place or school or something.
Right.
And just think of that setting and be like, you
I used
don't
to
want
love that movie.
like, but just think if you got the book sitting right there, whatever book, it's like a book of mystery, and it's a book of truth, and it's like, don't open it yet, like until you're ready to like take it in. Think of it like that.
Yeah.
Like when you open it, you're opening a world that's so
Yeah.
different, and
Get
it's
ready.
and people all over the world say, "Oh, it's real, man."
You're probably gonna lose
So-
everybody around you.
Yeah, but
When you
I think that
when you
there's
dedicate
so
yourself
much.
to the Word of God, when you dedicate yourself to the Word of God, it's pretty much going to consume your life, and then yeah,
But at the same time, like, well, like he said, he came into the world to bear witness to the truth. And
Right.
when I think about that, you can bear witness to the truth. And I think we've all learned, just experiencing this thing, that there's certain ways that are healthy way. I don't even know what you'd call it. Healthy ways to be a witness. And then there's other ways that don't work as good.
I'll just say it like this: most of the prophet, I think all the prophets, they lost their life over it. So
Yeah,
it
I
is what
agree
it
with
is.
that. Jesus even said that a prophet's hated in his own country or something.
Yeah, his own home.
Yep.
Dust off your feet, move to the next. I think that's how I said it.
You'll be hated for my name's sake.
That's right. Amen, bro.
Yeah, cool, Thomas. Well, we'll
Yes, sir.
do this again next
Much love,
week then.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you guys for hanging out. Share the info or share the stream or whatever. Share the channel.
Share the truth.
Share the truth. That's the most important. Share
right.
the truth. If
That
you
the
see the
ground is
truth,
stationary.
and you know what? I'm actually confident that pretty much everyone, it seems to me that everyone who is seeing this, which is probably a ton of people, almost all of them probably are compelled. Once you see it, it becomes a desire for you to make sure that other people look at it the right way to be able to see it, or whatever, however you can get people to see it. Like that's, I mean, if I was a globe person right now and was listening to what we're saying, I'd be like, why would they be saying all this stuff like it's so important or something? You know, I would just be like, why? That's weird. And I hope they are, really, because it's a profound life change that is not of this world. Just like Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world.
Amen.
And it just makes me think that like you were saying, he's building a house right now. He's carving out a mountain right now. He's calling people. He's uttering his voice, and the world is trembling, like when he looks at something. Like this is in Second Esdras.
Yep.
He's flying with the clouds and he's teaching. He's uttering his voice and people are hearing him. That's what I think is so cool. I think if truth came into the world, it was like these recent years, you know.
Yeah. For sure.
All right,
bro.
man. We'll take it
Much
easy.
love,
Drive
bro.
safe this week.
Always, man.
And
Always.
I'll make sure I'll drive a little extra crazy to give you a little extra
There you
safety.
go. Yeah, when you come on the interstate, man. When you come on the interstate, just judge your speed just right. Get in front of the semi and just stop. That works great.
Well, usually what I like to do is I like to get in front of him, and then, you know, I gotta
Do
let
like
my car
45.
warm up a little bit, you
Yeah.
know. So, but he gives me a nice push, kind of like the wind, you know. So it's
There
like
you go.
I'm actually saving him mileage because he's drafting me, so it's all good.
Peace and love, y'all. Keep
All
going.
right. Much love, everybody. Thanks for
See ya.
coming, and we'll see you next time.